Hello, my friends. Good afternoon. All right. Good afternoon, guys. Good evening. Live at a little bit of a different time than we usually go on Sundays here, so hope y'all are having a good one. We are checking out. This is Mandate Order, which is literally just it's just a public playtest right now on Steam. So a lot of people mentioned this over the last week, and basically said it's like a Asian themed style of Manor Lords. Basically, a lot of people said it's basically just a even just straight up just like a knockoff. Um, so I played it for like a couple hours yesterday just to kind of check it out real quick and see what's up with it. And yeah, it's cool. It's just it's definitely very early. It's like I said, it's just a play test. So it's not like a definitely not like a full finished game or anything by any means. But of course, neither is Manor Lords. But this one's definitely a bit more bare bones. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely cool. Obviously very similar to Manor Lords, and just kind of in a different theme set. But the the music is probably like the best thing about this game. I wish the music would play on the menu there, but we'll start a new game anyways. But I might need to turn it down a bit. Let me know if it's too loud. But yeah, so the music in this one is definitely like I was playing it for a couple hours yesterday just to check it out, like I said, and the music was definitely like addicting for sure. The playlist is great. Let's turn that off. Like I said, let me know if it's too loud though. Yeah, what's up, guys? Jay Voodoo, how are ya? Ren Shira, how we doing? Yeah, you're reporting me to Greg. Oh, dude, I don't think Greg knows or cares about me. That's for sure. But it's funny. No, we're still going on Manor Lords for sure. We'll still be doing our weekly Sunday live stream as usual for Manor Lords, and I still have a bunch of Manor Lords content coming up. I just figured we would check out this game. Like I said, when we were streaming last on Sunday for doing the castle creation in Manor Lords, quite a few people brought this game up. So I figured we might as well give it a look. Once again, this is just a public playtest right now. This is not a finished game. Not nothing on my channel is sponsored or anything. I'm too small time for anything like that. So this is just for our own enjoyment to just kind of check it out and see what's up. Hope you guys are having a good. For me, it's kind of afternoon, but hope you guys are having a good afternoon, evening, good day, good start to the weekend here. Have any of you tried this game out yet? Yeah, once again, let me know if the music is too loud, or any of the sound or anything. Let me know if any of that's just too loud. Or too quiet or anything. Like I said, the music in this game is definitely like, I was trying it out for a couple hours yesterday, and was definitely like noticing, I was like, wow, that was definitely getting into the music. It was really, really nice. But anyways, yeah, have any of you tried this yet, or heard about it or whatever? Like I said, I hadn't even heard about it until several people suggested it in our Manor Lord stream last weekend. So I'd be interested to hear if anyone else has played it, or what your guys' opinions or experiences are. Hey, Thomas Hazelwood, what's up, dude? No. So this is not this is a completely different game. It's called Mandate Order. It's just a game that people suggested in the stream last weekend, and I just looked it up on Steam, and it's an unfinished game. This is just a playtest, just a public playtest. Yeah, so it's a completely different game, but like I said, I played it for a couple hours yesterday, and just to, so I don't come in completely blind, and it's very similar to Manor Lords for sure. A lot of people have said it's basically, they feel like it's even just a knockoff, but this one's definitely very in like early stages. A lot of pretty bare bones in a lot of ways, so figured we would just check it out. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Baf? Welcome in, bro. The music seems to get louder and quieter at random times. Yeah, I guess like I said, just let me know if it gets too loud or too quiet or anything like that. But anyways, here's a bit of the scenery. I mean, I was kind of, this is the only map right now. I think it's just like, this is the playtest, you know what I mean? But it was kind of reminding me a little bit of the High Peaks map, you know what I mean? I'm almost feeling like, from my own experience working in Unreal Engine for the last few years, I feel like this one, I don't know for sure, but I do feel like this one is, this feels like an Unreal Engine 4 project, not Unreal Engine 5. So it's a bit more of the like, it's not quite as immersive as Manor Lords. That being said, pretty much nothing is, but it's still nice. Anyways, we'll get started here and set up a new little town and show you guys kind of, what's going on here, and point out, obviously we're mostly Manor Lords players here, so kind of see what are some of the differences and pros and cons and comparison and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, once again, hope you guys are having a great afternoon, a great Friday, great evening, whatever time it is for you. A great start to the weekend here. We will, of course, still be having our Manor Lords stream every Sunday. That's a guarantee. We're still full steam ahead on Manor Lords. Don't want anyone to think we're completely changing gears here or anything. We're just kind of for our own enjoyment, just for fun to check this out and see what's up. Excuse me. Yeah, rip-off. Yeah, a lot of people have kind of basically said they feel like it's a rip-off or a knockoff, yeah. I mean, obviously, it's a completely different theme. It's not, medieval, feudal, like European medieval kind of thing. But, yeah, anyways, we'll just hop into it, and you guys can kind of see for yourselves and let me know what you think. Like I said, I just played it for about, I don't know, I think like 2 hours yesterday or so, just to kind of get a feel for it. And yeah, it was cool. Like I said, I was definitely enjoying it. It's just kind of bare bones. So anyways, kind of a similar, a lot of the UI and stuff is pretty similar to Manor Lords. As you can see, the top bar up here is almost the exact same, and then the construction buttons and road tools and all that kind of stuff are all very similar. So it was pretty easy to like hop into it in that regard, you know what I mean? So anyways, this is just the road tool, and there's like kind of these, looks like there's basically like snapping points along the road where you can, which I kind of like. That's kind of cool. But the roads don't really bend too much. Like if you make like a corner or like a curve, it's basically just kind of like a, just kind of makes like a straight corner right there. It doesn't really make like a nice curve like it would in Manor Lords, for example. But it definitely works. I mean, the road system is just nice and simple like that. And you can draw the roads however you want. You just don't get the, the curves are basically just going to be like that. You know what I mean? Which is still cool, just not quite as cool as Manor Lords, I guess. Which I think is going to be the kind of the theme with a lot of things overall, right? That's just why Manor Lords is kind of the GOAT in a lot of ways already. So anyways, we'll, there's like a little tutorial. I don't know how to turn any of this off. I don't think maybe you even can, but Manicured the forest and grasses, yeah. I mean, it does, you can kind of, you can zoom in real close and stuff, and, I mean, it has great textures here, too, Like, the grass looks really nice. I mean, everything looks really nice. It's just not quite as nice. Like I said, to me, this looks like Unreal Engine 4. Not Unreal Engine 5. This is one of the really weird things that I noticed, is that, like, sometimes the units just, like, randomly disappear. Like, visually. They're still there. But yeah, I was noticing that when I was playing the other day. Like, the units will just randomly, like, visually disappear, but they're still there. So I don't know what's going on with that. But anyways. Okay, so logging workshop. This is basically, like in Manor, there's a logging camp. This one, though, however, you don't... One of the, cool things, I guess, is, a lot of people kind of struggle with or get frustrated with or whatever in Manor Lords is the ox. Having to use the ox for, like, all the logging tasks and all that kind of stuff. In this one, these guys, they, the workers just carry the logs. They don't need, like, oxen or anything, so, that is pretty nice. You don't have to worry about that, like, in your, logistics setup or anything like that. So yeah, basically, a lot of the similar approach as far as, like, setting up, like, the basics of the town, chop the trees, collect logs, replant trees, turn the logs into lumbers or, planks, basically, right? Gather firewood, forage, like berries or whatever, natural resources kind of thing. So a lot of similarities as far as, like, the basics, of course. So logging, and then as far like it's very similar as far as, like, assign. They call them crews, not families. They call them crews in this game. So very similar. Assign crew, unassigned crew, and then instead of tab, it's Alt in this game. So you just press Alt, and then you very similarly get a, get the overlays or whatever, and show you key information, like right here, how many people are assigned. Other buildings that are, like, producing stuff, it'll show a little symbol on, like, what it's producing and whatnot. So of course there's going to be a lot of it is a lot of the mechanics and operations here are very similar to Manor Lords, of course. Let's see. Moving logs. Yeah, see, some of the, like I said, I don't really understand what's up with that, but some of the units I noticed, they just kind of, like, disappear randomly. Once again, this is just like literally a playtest, public playtest. This is not a finished game or anything, so. I wonder if we, like, reload, if they'll, like, reappear. Because I want to see these guys, like, show you guys how they, oh, here you go. See, these guys, see, they'll just carry the logs. See, so these guys, they don't need a ox. So that is kind of cool, you know what I mean? These, the Asian dudes are strong, man. They're like, we don't need no ox. I'll just carry those logs. Beast mode. Alright, so, we'll make some, now we're collecting the logs, then you can turn them into planks or whatever, but, so we'll have to build some houses, residential. Tents are basically houses. It seems like right now, I think that's basically it. There's not, like, any different version of housing or anything. I think it's just tents. So we can build some tents. Oh, and then we need a water well, too. That's right. And the water well, I don't know if any of you guys have played Farthest Frontier. I know Baf's been playing Farthest Frontier. The water system is very similar to Farthest Frontier. Where it's like, wherever you place, there's, like, underground water that's, like, stronger in different areas. Seems to be stronger when it's, like, surrounded by trees, for example, or something like that. So a lot more similar to Farthest Frontier with the like, water system here. So, we can just put a well, like, wherever. 50% right there seems decent. And then we need a few, maybe some tents. Wants us to build 7 tents, but I think we're gonna need some more planks as well, so let's assign someone to the wood workshop. And then I wonder if we can... I'm gonna try saving and then reload, just to, I don't know if that'll fix the, like, invisible units kind of thing. Okay, looks like they're back now, right? There we go. Oh, some of them disappeared already. No! They're disappearing! Into the unknown. I saw a few of them disappear over there. But yeah, I mean, see, like, this guy, he'll just carry the... I think those are just planks, but it is nice how they... Eventually, we'll add... There's, like, logistics stuff where they'll, like, they make, like, carts and wagons and stuff, you know what I mean? But as far as, like, basic tasks around the town, it is kind of nice that they just, you know, carry everything on their own. Proper case for intellectual theft. Hey, what's up, Ned? Welcome in, dude. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I hope you guys are having a good... You guys have had a good week here, and a good start to the weekend. I saw a lot of you guys commented on the challenging series in Manor, of course. I really appreciate that. Looks like a lot of you guys enjoyed it, so I'm really glad to hear that. That was great. Got some good ideas for some next like series and challenges and stuff like that. By the way, if you guys are in the Discord, you probably saw, but I posted, they did post another an article, a new like update article for Manor Lords, kind of talking about giving some insights onto some of the updates that are upcoming for the next set of patches or whatever. So it's from the that guy Tim, I think, right, who's like the CEO of Hooded Horse, who's the publisher for Manor Lords, and as he had kind of mentioned last year, he would be giving more updates on, you know, more insight on the development process or whatever. So sounds like they're doing some more overhauls to the trade systems and adding like another tier of housing and stuff like that. We'll talk more about it on Sunday for the Manor Lord stream, and I might even make a quick little video just kind of reviewing some of that information. But anyways, if you guys weren't aware, I just wanted to let you know in case you wanted to go check out the article. I also made a post about it here on the YouTube channel with the article link if you wanna check it out for yourself. Yeah. Good to hear, Ned. Shiz kebab. Hey, what's up, dude? How we doing? Happy Friday. So anyways, you guys can see, I mean, they do, you know, you can watch them kind of do their tasks and stuff, which is cool. Looks like they have a lot of good animations already. I've noticed, like, you know, when we assign people, for example, over to, like, the mining quarry or whatever, you know, like this guy's chopping and stuff. I mean, they seem to have, they have pretty much, I haven't really noticed any action. See, he just disappeared. I haven't really noticed any action that, you know, it had like a wonky or incorrect like animation or anything. So that seems really cool. They have a lot of that going on already, which is definitely cool. I know, Thomas, dude. Seriously. I started reading that, and then of course they're like, yeah, we're gonna completely overhaul all the trade systems again. And I'm just like, dude, you guys are absolutely killing me, dude. Like, what do I gotta do? That's all good. That's part of the that's part of the ride, though. You know, it's kind of frustrating, but it's also, you know, it's also part of what, you know, why people are here, right? Because stuff is constantly updating, so, you know, it is good in that sense, like more opportunity, I guess. But yeah. I hate to be, I just want to be giving you guys the best information as possible is my thing, so. It's just hard when they're constantly changing everything. But that's how it is right now, so obviously it's all good. Alright, and then there's like this like berries over here, basically. Like a berry deposit right here. Jujube trees. So we have like this foraging camp. And so basically everything in this game, this is one of the like main mechanics that I noticed. That seems to be like, you know, pretty much across the board. Which is a difference to one of the main differences to Manor Lords that I noticed right away, as far as like kind of the logistical differences, you know, mechanical differences, and how the operations work. And that is that they're pretty much every building has like a radius. So you notice like it has this, you know, this radius, and of course we can see when the berries are in range, then it's indicating, you know, highlighting them, indicating that, you know, they'll be able to be gathered by this building or whatever. But this is basically the same like for any building in this game, it seems. So like when we place the logging workshop, I guess they don't really seem to have a range, but if we place like the forestry site to like replant the trees, once again it's like this is the radius that they'll be able to replant the trees. When we get to the point of like adding like a storehouse, for example, for like storage, you'll see like once again, see we got like this one has like a pretty massive radius, but once again it's like the storehouse will be able to accept anything for storage for anything that's within this radius, right? So pretty much all of the mechanics rely on the radius of each building, it seems like. So I noticed basically, and then we'll get to the point soon, and once you, for example, like we have these like, I don't know, we'll like want to mine copper or something that's like way out here, which is obviously like away from the radius. Then there's like a long range wagon transport system that you set up, where you basically move those items within the radius of like, you know, your main town and storage and all that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit interesting in that regard. Like that I did think was kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. Thought that system was kind of cool and like pretty easy to pick up and like hop into, you know. Definitely more like, I don't know, just kind of straightforward, I guess, in comparison. So this is not UE5, right? I'm not for sure, but based on my own just like personal experience in Unreal Engine, going from 4 to 5 myself within the last few years or whatever, this to me screams Unreal Engine 4. This to me does not feel like Unreal Engine 5, so I'd be willing to make a bet that this is Unreal Engine 4. I don't know for sure. Maybe it says somewhere and I just didn't read it, but yeah, I think it's Unreal Engine 4, but I could definitely be wrong. Yeah, as long as they overhaul the trade systems and Manor Lords for better. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's always that's you know, in the eye of the beholder, right? It's all kind of subjective whether we think it's better or not, but we'll see. Obviously, that's just, you know, that guy who made the announcement. He's just like the owner of the publisher and stuff, and based on his wording, it sounds like basically he's just, you know, chatting with Greg and Darren and the other devs and just kind of relaying whatever they tell him, so who knows how much of it is actually even accurate or whatever. Alright, so we'll assign someone to the foraging camp, get them harvesting berries over here. And then, so yeah, it wants us to get stone, so we'll build this quarry, mining quarry. So once again, see, we have this radius, so then, but it's nice how it like clearly will highlight and indicate, you know, when you have something in range or whatever. I kind of like this system, to be honest. So anyways, yeah, so we'll build a quarry so we can mine the stone. Build a little road out like that. Little quarry. Kind of make it a little bit out of the way because it's kind of a big building. There we go. And then it wants us to make a storehouse, so like we already kind of looked at, you know, the storehouse has a really big range, so, you know, that makes it a bit convenient, but we'll just kind of have like a central storehouse, I guess, you know. I feel like we'll probably end up needing like more of them, so maybe we'll just build 2 of them like right here, to be honest. So the quarry, once we build the quarry, the mining animations and stuff are all really good too. All the animations here are really good. It just feels like, to me, this feels like... See, now, same thing with Greg. Like, Greg originally, like, Manor Lords was originally in Unreal Engine 4 as well. And then that was part of the, you know, painstaking process. I remember, like, within the last, like, year or two or whatever, he, you know, basically transferred everything over to Unreal Engine 5. Whereas this game, to me, feels like a similar situation where it's like, this game probably, you know, Greg said he started his game, Manor Lords, like 7 years ago, right? Probably a similar situation. This game was probably started like 7 whatever years ago, and they just never, you know, never took it out of Unreal Engine 4, I would imagine. But I don't know, there's always kind of a nice unique charm to like older kind of style games, or not, like, you know, older visually, you know what I mean? Kind of has a unique charm, I guess, too, right? You've listened to a lot of traditional Asian music? This stuff is boring? Oh my gosh. Hot take right there, TH. Dude, I was loving the soundtrack, dude. I've been loving the soundtrack. Alright, we assign someone to the quarry. See, this is pretty cool how they, like... You know, this whole quarry and mining thing definitely I thought was pretty cool. Now walk in here and looks like we got people moving into the town now. You know, like I said, I think, like, I really felt like a lot of the animations are definitely really legit. And same thing over here. These guys will just, you'll see they'll like mine out these like huge hunks of stone, and they just carry them out, dude. These guys are like beast mode. They don't need any pack mules or oxens or anything, dude. They're just beast. We'll see. There's more songs in here too. Some of them are kind of like hype. Wish they would get the whole tree of traits out to at least see the big picture before big shakeups. Yeah, totally, Shiska Bob. Yeah, man. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I'll try not to start, you know, yapping too much about Manor Lord's opinions about all that, but yeah. That does seem like the general theme. I feel like I really wish they would focus on, you know, fixing or like completing and fixing things that are already there, rather than just continuously taking on a bunch of new stuff and they just keep making these like major changes, like major overhauls to key systems in the game. It's just like, dude, I still, you know, I still can't even like get through recording a full challenging playthrough without having to restart like 5 times because I just, you know, run into the bug where I lose the battle for no reason out of nowhere kind of thing, and then it's like, you know, they're overhauling all this other stuff, and it's just like, dude. But yeah, look at these guys. Look at these beasts right here, dude. Look at this massive boulder. And he just carries... Look at these guys, dude. So yeah. Apparently, people in Asian medieval times are far stronger. Because, yeah, these guys are absolute beast mode. So that's kind of cool, though. You know, it's just, like, convenient, you know. They just kind of do a lot of that stuff without you having to worry about it too much. Alright, so it wants us to produce like some basic weapons, some wooden clubs, and then we get some soldiers, and then so there's like these, like a wolf's lair or whatever, you know, impeding us from like being able to gather clay and stuff like that. So we get some like basic soldiers. And so this is like pretty easy to do, but once again feels like they need to, you know, improve this whole UI. But right now it's pretty simple, right? You just go to crafts and then you switch it from like right now they're creating lumber, or basically planks, and then you just switch it to wooden clubs, and then that'll switch what they're producing, which is pretty simple, but you know, feels like there could be, I'm sure there's a lot coming as far as revamping a lot of this stuff in this game. Still very early. Yeah, so we're just making some wooden clubs, and then I think we can just add like some more houses or whatever. I think we need more. I noticed you had to kind of like build like a few water wells to be able to keep up with the. Unless you have like a really strong like area of underground water, I guess. So I'll probably put another water well in a area that has decent. I mean, for me, this is kind of a vibe, though. You know, like I really like the soundtrack, and it's kind of a unique charm with like the outdated graphics, and you know, it's got a little bit of a charm here. You know, that I could see. You know, if they continue to improve on it, it could be pretty cool here. Just had a quick look, and this game has apparently been in development for around 18 months. Oh, holy crap, really? Yeah, like I said, I haven't looked into anything. That's just kind of my... That's crazy, though. Wow. Interesting. So I guess they're... Yeah, maybe they are just bandwagoning... Yeah, I mean, to be fair, right? If I'm a developer thinking, you know, in the city builder strategy game category, right? And I'm looking on, you know, like GameStats.com or whatever, and I'm like, you know, what's, you know, all these games are good, and then you see Manor Lords, and they've made $50 million, and the game hasn't even, you know, it's been out for maybe 2 full years in early access still with a ton of issues. You know, I'd probably be thinking the same thing, right? Like, this seems like a pretty good formula. Not far stronger, they just put more men on it. Yeah, maybe there are, like I said, it's kind of weird. I don't know if, like I said, there's like some invisible units and stuff sometimes, so I don't know if there's other people help in the background that are helping them carry it secretly or something, but I just thought that was interesting. Of course, because I just, you know, everyone, I see always a lot of comments of, the whole like Ox system is kind of confusing for new players in Manor Lords. You know what I mean? once you understand it, then it's not a big deal. But I just feel like, you know, if you're a new player coming into, you just like this is you just assign someone here and they just do it. You know, you don't have to think about that whole Ox thing. It's a little more approachable in that sense. Anyways, these are all just I'm just kind of objective commentary here, just kind of thinking out loud on what I noticed are some of the differences between the games or whatever. Alright, what does it want? Okay, we're making the wooden clubs. Okay. And we'll get some soldiers. So eventually we'll like be making like weapons and armor and stuff. Kitchen. I haven't gotten like too far into it. I just played for like a couple hours yesterday, and we can skip ahead to that one in a little bit if we want. It's a little bit more progressed, but yeah, we'll have to see what. I think there's a hunting area over here. Yeah, we'll put a hunting camp. We'll have to see what actually pans out from those, like, you know, updates that they just kind of hinted about or whatever, or gave us a preview of, or whatever we want to call it. The hunting camp over here. I think we need firewood too. Firewood. And then we'll probably replant some of these trees over here, just like we would do normally. Firewood. And forestry to replant trees. Cool. Where are the rice paddies? Yeah, you know what? There's really... That is one thing that I notice is not really a thing is farming. There's not really any sort of farming. However, so we'll get to it soon. But so it seems like one of the key features of this game is, so if we like go over here, for example, there's one of these like neighboring like settlements right here. We can't, I don't think I can't like click on it yet or whatever. But basically this settlement, we'll get to it soon. I remember this is like one of the upcoming objectives. And so you basically take these neighboring settlements, but they're not, I think like neighboring settlement seems like the wrong word. I forget what they called it. It's basically like an expansion opportunity, somewhat like that. So you claim this, and then when you claim any of these extension things, here you can add, see like right here you see this tooltip. This one has like this bountiful harvest thing modifier, for example. So these extension things is where you can add farmland, and you basically have like, these people are like, and this is also how you make like taxes. So this right here, up here in the top left, knife money. This is basically like, I don't know, regional wealth or treasury or somewhat of a combination of both. Is basically like tax money, right? And this is how you gain the tax money. It seems is you expand your, you know, your main settlement is like your, I don't know, like your main kingdom, and then you get these extensions, and then these people like pay taxes to you, and then you can also, that's where you add like farmland and like animal pens and like similar stuff that you would add in a backyard extension in Manor Lords. I guess you basically add in these extension villages. So once again, maybe that's a little confusing right now, but we'll get to that soon. We'll have to, we'll start like claiming these things or whatever to get an idea for that. But yeah, that I guess as far as I've seen is like the only way to do like farming so far. So I don't really know if they, yeah, I'm not really sure if, you know, maybe that's going to be, you know, they do have this like developing section here where there's like some other, you know, buildings that are, you know, not able to build yet or whatever. Who knows if maybe farming and stuff will be a part of that. But anyways, it seems like, yeah, those extension villages or whatever, that's kind of the way to do the farming right now, or to get farming materials at least. Yeah, question. Yeah, I got you. We're gonna rally up soldiers here real quick. So very similar UI here once again. You know, you got this military tab, and you know, we'll create a sword infantry. They'll just have like the wooden. We don't have any armor or shields right now. And these guys, I don't know, they like rally up and then we just send them off to wherever we want them to go. I think we're clear out some of these wild animal camps that are near some resources that we want to gather or whatever. Yeah, what's up, one Red Ogan? How we doing? What's your question, dude? I got you. Will the bandits be the Huns? Yeah, no, I got you. I got you, TH. Yeah, dude. I don't know. I did in the other one when you get a little bit further in, there is some like combat and stuff. Like here we can zoom out real quick. Actually, I'll show you guys the rest of the map here just for perspective. So it once again very similar. Where like, you know, the camera and map system where once you zoom all the way out, then it goes to like the overall map, just like in Manor Lords. So this is kind of just like I said, just the playtest map, but. Basically, here's our town, right? And then it wants us to eventually move up here. So there's like a, you know, this is like, you know, the enemy's area or whatever. And but it is kind of cool that there's, you know, actually like walls and there's like siege stuff and like some of that's way farther ahead in that regard. But yeah, so then you come into this area. And there's like, you know, more settlements to take and stuff. And then all the way in the back is like this big... I mean, I guess these are the rice paddies maybe, or I don't know. They actually have a bunch of farmland over here. So I don't know. But yeah, once again, this is just like playtest thing. But looks like this is kind of the end goal, I guess, as you conquer this area. They have a bunch of troops and defenses back here, so... Yeah, and then you eventually make like better weapons and stuff. It's just for now, I think we just don't really have. We need to get like the copper or whatever, right? So. And then similar to Manor Lords with like, you know, how you can like set the troops to line up. But this one you have like a bit more control, like so you can make these like, so you can like draw the formations like literally like however you want and stuff. So like some of this stuff is definitely like pretty, you know, like honestly better made. You know, like these mechanics are just objectively better than Manor Lords. You know what I mean? It's just in a very, very incomplete setting, so. Anyways, I guess we gotta see if we can take out these boars. And then while they're heading over there, it wants us to make a artifice workshop. So this is how we make... This is how we make... Where the heck is that at? Industrial? Oh yeah. Yeah, this is how we make wagons and carts for like improved logistics, which of course, you know, that's not unique to Manor Lords, right? Any city builder is logistics heavy priority, right? So we gotta have our wagons and carts. So maybe we'll just like put that over there. And then it's gonna want, so that's to like create the wagons and carts, and then we create a logistics station, and then these guys. So I from what I understand, like, because you don't assign people like to storehouses or whatever, you know what I mean, like you would in Manor Lords. These are just storage buildings that are just here. From what I understand, the logistics station, that's where you hire people, where it's like as if you were hiring them at a storehouse or a granary or whatever in Manor Lords. These logistics, or you know what I mean, logistics people they'll get carts and like move stuff around the town and move them to the storehouses and whatnot. So we build this to produce the carts and wagons, and then you put a logistics station to hire people to you know, use the carts and whatever. So a little bit different in that regard, but similar concept. While Manor Lords develops the assets on the map from nowhere dynamically, this game has pre-placed assets. Yeah, well, at least once again, this is like literally like the only this is like the only map this is just a playtest, you know what I mean? So like I don't know, who knows for like, you know, in the future for like official release of the game, like how that will work. But yeah, it seems like for now it's basically just this one like pre-made map. And then this is like, once again, like really weird where like this one I'm like confused on. I'm assuming there's like, once again, there's just like other people here who are like invisible, the units, for whatever reason, and I don't know. Or is it just like this guy's just the representation of our 20-man army? You know what I mean? Like this, I'm still like not really sure what the heck's going on here. Like this whole like a lot of times when I zoomed in on seeing what's going on, it like I said, I noticed like the units and stuff disappear, which is like really weird. So I don't know. Once again, playtest, guys. This is just a playtest, so I don't know what the heck is there. I assume this is not the correct intended behavior, but anyways, that's that's kind of the I mean, it is cool. Once again, I'm like looking at it, it's like, dude, great animations. I mean, we got like really good bunch of variety on the sword animations and stuff, in my opinion, but it's kind of like, what the heck is going on with like, where's everybody else? You know? It's a ghost army, yeah. I don't know what the heck. What's the method to remove rods? That's stolen too. What do you mean? What do you mean, TH? Remove rods. Sorry, I'm confused on the question. You were thinking along the same lines. The map looks more linear. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure this one, and like I said, I don't know. It's just speculation. I would imagine that, you know, there's going to be more similar to Manor Lords or whatever in the sense where you know you can pick from a variety of maps and have random generated resources or whatever kind of stuff like that. I'm assuming that this map is just, this is like the playtest map. You know what I mean? Because I did try to, like, I started, like, restarted a couple times just to see, and it's literally the same exact map. If you just start, and there's just one option to, like, start a new game here. So, like I said, I would assume that's just, like, this is just the playtest map, basically, you know, in that sense. Looks like they almost have this boar's lair destroyed. There we go. Well, they destroyed the boar's lair. See, so when you, like, put them like that, like, you can still, you know, there is 20 people here, supposedly. I don't really know what the heck, it's very confusing in that regard with, like, this whole disappearing units ghost army thing, but anyways. We'll bring them back. And I think I think it's the same thing where it's basically like, yeah, enlisted. So, like, these people are militias, like, these are people from the town, you know what I mean? So if they die, you know, people in your town are dying or whatever, and so now we'll bring them back to the town, and then we dismiss them, and they get integrated back in the town. It's like the same exact militia system in that regard. Oh, remove roads. That I couldn't figure out. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't figure it out. I don't know if maybe there is a way to remove roads and I'm just too dumb to figure it out, but... Oh no, actually there... Yeah, no, I remember now. I did figure it out. It's not in the road tool. You just click on a section of road and it counts as like a building, essentially, and then you just demolish it. So, like, so, like, these are two different sections of road, basically. So, like, this counts as its own build. So if we demolish this, see, then it's going to demolish that portion of the road. And I guess it counts the turn right there as a different portion, too. So, yeah, that's how the road deletion or whatever works, I guess. Counts it basically as, like, a building. They borrowed a butcher from Manor Lords? Dude. Jeez. Yeah, one of the butchers from Manor Lords would have made swift work of that boar's den, let's be honest, huh? Manor Lord had the ambition from the start to shape the world in a dynamic, random way. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So who knows, once again, who knows if that's... Maybe this game won't have random generated resources and everything will be like this, where it is pre-placed, honestly. Yeah, I'm not sure. We're just kind of speculating, I guess, at this point, right? All right, so here's our artifice workshop. So we'll make a cart. Yeah, so we need carts, and then that'll allow us to build the logistics station, because we need at least one cart to be able to get this up and running. So they are producing carts. Yeah, we can see we have a good amount of, like, logs and lumbers. We'll assign a family to the forestry replanting. Looks like we see now we're getting ahead on, we have like a good amount of water available, so we could probably add some more tents, I would assume. Sounds good, TH. Hope to see you on Sunday, dude. We'll be doing our usual Manor Lords stream on Sunday. Yeah, thanks for popping in, dude. Hope you have a good rest of your Friday. Okay, so yeah, a couple more houses coming in. Oh yeah, we could staff this firewood as well. And then I think we have... Okay, we have a cart now. One cart has been created. So we can go logistics station. And then once again, we can, you know, the radius here, right? So we just want to make sure, like, wherever we place this, like, all the production buildings and whatever else are all, like, within the range, you know? So kind of like a central area right here seems pretty good, right? I'll just go ahead and go with that. These butchers and meddlers are beasts, dude. Right. Yeah, no, yeah, none of us could act. Yeah. That could never be any of us to forget to set a production reserve. I've definitely never done that. Ever. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to see, we'll have to see what, how things shake out there in the perspective with Manor Lords as far as those updates that they hinted at. Here we go. So we can see once again it's somewhat of a similar like overview here. If we click on the crew and we get like the this sort of somewhat visual representation with the lines of where they're at and stuff. I would say this is also cool. I like, so the yellow line is the same as the yellow line as it would be in Manor Lords. We can see. Right, here's the guy, and here's what they're doing or whatever. But I like that it also shows the green line to show where's their house. I felt like that was kind of a nice touch as well. Just a visual aid to help. I don't know if you need to move workers around or whatever it is, right? So. I don't know, just little stuff like that. Once again, I'm not, nothing that I'm saying is any, like, opinion either way or the other. I'm just kind of trying to point out some of the stuff that I noticed that was some of the most, like, noticeable differences or whatever between the two games. Okay, so now it wants us to mining. So now it wants us to get the copper, right? So we cleared out the copper area. So we can like build out towards this copper area. So here's where, so like I was mentioning earlier, we have all these, like, everything has like a radius, and then this is going to be like outside of the radius of all of our logistics stations and storehouses and all that kind of stuff, right? So there's where we need to set up transport stations to basically create like a long range wagon transport system. But so we need the mining camp, so this will mine the copper ore. And then we need to produce at this artifice workshop. So instead of making carts, then we need to make some wagons. So the carts are basically like hand carts, you know what I mean, that they would use from the storage center, like this guy right here, like from the storehouse in Manor Lords, you know what I mean, when you upgrade it and you get more of the hand carts or whatever. But then there's these wagons, which are basically like horse-drawn wagons or whatever, like the major traders, basically, like in Manor Lords, you know what I mean? Like where they have the horse-drawn carriage sort of concept. And then they can carry more stuff and all that. So we're just setting up our own like major trade route, essentially. So mining camp. So once we get the wagon, similarly as with the logistics station, where you need, I think we need a wagon to be able to build it, right? Transport station. Oh no, we can build them without the wagons. Okay. Okay, so we'll build a transport station out there by the copper, and then we'll build one in like a central area in our town. That seems pretty good. Let's go with that. So, you know, it's cool, right? You know, it's just I don't know. Like I said, I've heard a lot of people say like they feel like it's just like a complete like rip off and knockoff, which I don't know. I can definitely see why you say that, but I don't know. It's hard. Just what isn't really. I guess you could kind of say that Manor Lords is a knockoff of Banished, right? I mean, Banished was kind of one of the original games of this style, really, right? That somewhat everyone, just like, you know, pretty much like in music, every song is a rip-off of another song. The movies and storytelling and everything, right? I feel like pretty much everything's most like fantasy stories are like a rip-off of Lord of the Rings in some way or another. I don't know, it's just kind of how it goes, I guess. I feel like this one does have a bit of a unique charm. But yeah, it's definitely still very early. There's a lot of very bare bones elements here, obviously. What do you guys think so far? We've been playing for almost an hour now. Yeah, that's the thing, Ned. Exactly. In a way, right. That's kind of what I was. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, yeah, and that's just like I said, not unique to games either, right? That's just kind of everything in life, right? Everyone's always kind of ripping each other off or whatever, right? So we got this mining camp coming in. All right, so we'll get copper, and we have this transport station. So this transport station was very confusing when I was messing with it yesterday. I did not it took me like a while to understand like what the heck is going on here. Because like I said, they use these wagons to transport stuff between the transport stations. But they need wagons. Like they can't, that's the only way that the transport station works is with the wagons. So we'll label this one as like transport station home. And this one is like transport station copper. This is the copper mines over there, for example. So anyways, I'll show you guys what we need to do here. But because it just, the tutorial needs some work too, which once again, that's another thing that you see people criticize with Manor Lords constantly, is that there's not really a good like in-game tutorial. Which is partly why my channel has, opportunity, I guess, is because there's not really, they don't really do a good job of teaching you the game themselves. So that's another common issue, I guess. But, yeah, the tutorial won't, so after we build these here, you'll see it'll just basically be like, transport, like, copper from one, like, transport copper to your town or whatever. It doesn't really tell you like how to do that, and I was like stuck on this for a while. Hopefully they'll be getting these building tasks done sometime soon. I feel like these things have been sitting here forever. Wonder if they're... Oh, I think we're... Probably because we don't have all the, we're low on construction materials, huh? Yeah, we have like no lumber and logs and stuff. Okay, so I think they're getting the construction materials that they need. Oh, I forgot. It's because this guy's making wooden clubs still. I see. So we probably, see that's another, so it does have like a max production. I probably should have like, with the wooden clubs for example, I probably should have set like a max production. Because look, we made like 100 and... Well, we got a bunch of... if we need like a low tier army, everyone armed with wooden clubs, we're ready for that. Okay. That's what was going on. It just wasn't producing any lumbers. Okay. And we should probably staff like another person on this logging too, because it looks like we just need to catch up on that kind of stuff. There we go. Transport station home. All right. Now it's coming in. Yeah, it looks pretty. Seems to run well enough. Yeah, for sure. It runs smoothly overall. So, yeah. Can't be mad. It's a bit early to judge this game. Yeah, exactly. At the moment, it's pretty limited and quirky. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Which, you know, of course, we could say the same thing about Manor Lords to an extent. But yeah, no, Manor Lords is definitely further along than this game. That's for sure. This game is definitely... there's a reason this is just a playtest, for sure. It's not... I wouldn't consider this anything beyond a playtest or a demo, really. I'd say it's closer to a demo than a playtest, but I don't know, they're basically the same thing. Alright, so we'll assign the mining camp, so we'll start gathering copper, and then we'll set up the transport thing. But I think we need more people, so we'll add a couple more tents. Yeah, the tents are a little... I mean, I would imagine that, you know, eventually there's just going to be, you know, upgrade the tents to something better. In-game tutorial Manor Lords doesn't really make sense right now. True, that's also true, Ned. Yeah, no, fair enough, yeah. So they don't have to spend time remaking that tutorial all the time. Yeah, no, that's fair. That is definitely a fair point. That is definitely a fair point. Yeah, you would make it and basically say, look what people need and make that same as it. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no, I'm just once again just commenting on what I noticed, like, from the, you know, creator standpoint or whatever. I noticed, like, I do see a lot of times that people will make comments about. As you guys know, a lot of the guides I have are beginner friendly and whatever, and so a lot of times beginners will say stuff like that. You know, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm really struggling because there's no, like, in-game tutorial or whatever." You know what I mean? But I agree with what you said, Ned. Yeah, I mean, maybe it would be even more confusing if they did add an in-game tutorial, because then you'd maybe, you know, some people would just kind of be learning the wrong information, you know, in the long run. And then they have to go through a new tutorial every time there's a new update. Huh? Which I guess is basically what we're doing on our own anyways, without an official tutorial, but, you know. Oh, some hot dogs. Nice, dude. Sounds good. Enjoy. Sounds good, dude. We'll see you in a bit. Now we got some more tents. More people will be moving in. And there we go. We're ramping up our logs and lumbers and all that kind of stuff again, which is good. We have some more wagons available now. We have 7 wagons, so that's good. So I think we should go back to making carts, because we probably need some more carts. Looks like we don't have any carts for our logistics. Okay, but... So, like, now that we're, like, mining that copper ore... So, like I said, setting up this transport stations was very confusing. So... Because it says, like I said, it just says right here, like, build a forge and make copper ingots, but it doesn't tell you how do we get these copper ingots. Like, it told us to build the transport station, but how do we do that? Because, like, you know, like, at first I was just like, oh, I'll just assign someone at the transport station, and then, you know, there's like this send tab, and you go here and you just make a shipment, transport station home, you know, copper ore. You know, we'll just keep sending that, and we'll send, like, for whatever reason, I wish they would, you can't, like, shift click or control click or anything to do, like, bigger denominations. But just, I don't know, send, for example, it'd be like, oh, send, like, 15 at a time. Confirm. And then that's cool, like that's all set up, but then like nothing happens. Like even though they're mining the ore and everything, like nothing happens. And so, but the solution here is that it's because they need the wagon, right? And since, unless when you place this thing, like the radius, unless it's within the radius of, you know, where you're like creating and storing your wagons, then it's not going to get a wagon. So you need to use the original transport station to send the new transport station a wagon, and then it'll work. So that took, like, I swear I was like 20 minutes like stuck on this yesterday, just like, what the heck is going on? So like we'll assign the home one, send to the copper station wagon, just a one-time thing, and send them. They probably only need like, I doubt there's going to be any more than like 3 things to ship at a time or whatever, you know what I mean? So, boom. Then this should actually work. And this is kind of, this actually works pretty well, where you can get like the updates here. I think maybe we need we don't have any unassigned crews, which might be a problem. Let's unassign someone. We got plenty of firewood for now. But yeah, this works pretty well, where you'll be able to see the status of them like loading the shipment, and then you'll see the status of it like being shipped out and stuff. And then you can watch the wagon doing its thing or whatever. There we go. Now, see, there we go. Now we got 2. So there we go. In transit. So there we go. See, here it goes right here. Here's our wagon delivering wagons. So, you know, in this case, like the ox or whatever, right? They just kind of like appear, right? Like they just come with the wagon, I guess. So, you know, here's where the ox do come into play, but we didn't actually have to import the ox or anything like that. They just kind of came with the wagon magically. But anyways, once that wagon gets delivered to the other transport station, then we can start, then that transport station can actually be operational. Did I ever play Stranded Alien Dawn? No. Haven't really heard of that one either. A lot of those games that you mentioned I haven't heard of. Dude, feel free to link those in the Share Games channel in the Discord too. I'm always interested in checking out, you know, other stuff in the genre. Excuse me. Oh, other quick note too. This one's kind of cool too down here. So this is like the, you know, like calendar or whatever down here. And there are kind of like, there's like events that come up along the calendar, which is pretty cool. I don't know, I guess we can't like click into them or whatever. But if you notice like some of these like icons, like this one coming up, we have like a autumn equinox coming up, and then there's like a, I don't know, you know, what this is, but elite only, summer solstice, and then, you know, as we progress, there's other stuff that'll pop up too. It'll be like, I don't know, like, you know, something happened in the kingdom and everyone's happy, or there's like good weather and everyone's happy, or there's, you know, something bad happened, everyone's pissed off for a little while, or something like that. There's like random events that'll pop up along the calendar here, which is kind of cool. Hey, what's up, 49er? What's going on, dude? How are you? Welcome in, dude. Yeah, you made it. I assume you're a West Coaster like me. I assume you live in Cali. Good afternoon to you, bro. Happy Friday. Hope you've had a good week. Good start to your weekend here. Okay, so let's see. So we have the see, we can see now we have wagons here, right? So now these shipments will work now. So now we'll assign a crew over here, and then those will start to happen as the materials are ready. So now we don't need anyone assigned on the receiving one. You only need to have people staffed on them when they're like sending stuff. Oh, you're from Idaho. Yeah, nice, dude. Midwest. Well, it's still afternoon for you, right? Yeah, well, good afternoon, bro. Hope you're having a good Friday. Your your comments cracked me up on some of those. I did not even realize that I was subconsciously applying 49ers colors to my retinue. That was a big mistake. I had to change that real quick. I started a new game and I completely now we're doing green and blue, dude. I do love red though. Red's always good because I love Liverpool, but the red and yellow, red and black and yellow kind of thing is a little too reminiscent of 49ers, huh? It is a great color scheme though. It's one of my favorite color schemes, and I love the like burgundy color in Manor Lords. I think it's really good. Pairs really well with the yellow. All right, so now we got to get a forge, right? So we're gonna be able to smelt the copper into, ingots or whatever. So yeah, maybe put a forge right here, and then we'll make the ingots, copper ingots. And I think as we're expanding our our town, we need more food too. So we got this hunting camp set up. We'll assign the hunting camp. And I think meat in this game is considered just a material. I don't think meat is like something that you just like that they can just eat. So I think you need to build this kitchen. See, it says on the tooltip they'll cook the meat and turn it into like stew or whatever. So I think we need that. So we can go ahead, for example, and put kitchen right here. We'll need more food. And then also, like, before we got the copper, we like slaughtered this like boar lair, and there's like all this meat and hides and stuff that are just sitting here. So for example, we could also use the transport station for that. So it looks like we nearly have our first shipment of copper coming up. Once this gets done, then we can start sending like some of these hides and meat and stuff back to the town as well. Because we already sent our little like what are they, wooden clubs, our militia with their wooden clubs over here, and they killed all these they slaughtered the boars. So there's all this meat and hides and stuff sitting around, and that we can go ahead and send. All right, see, so we've got this. Here's our first shipment of copper ore, basically. So now we have this set up. Cool. So now copper ore is coming into the town, and then we have the forge coming up, so we'll be able to like smelt it. We'll get more food coming in because it looks like right here is our food thing, and we don't have any food. And this is like the approval tab right here, basically. And we can see like, oh, right there, right. See, that was actually, we just saw it drop right there, right? And we just saw the food go down, right? So we can see our food levels are dropping, right? So we gotta take care of that. Basically, same thing that we would in Manor Lords. Yeah, that's funny, 49er. Oh my goodness. Yeah, anyone who's just tuning in, guys, we are checking out Mandate Order. This is a game that's just on a public playtest right now. This is a very early stage game. Nothing released, nothing official. I have no affiliation with them or anyone. I'm just a nobody in general, but we're just kind of checking it out for our own enjoyment here and seeing what's up. A lot of people kind of recommended this game as a similar to Manor Lords and whatnot, so it's like an Asian themed Manor Lords, but very early in the development process here. So all right, so like I said though, we can set up a another, let's send some of this meat back to the town. So yeah, there's like, we can send like a load of like 50 meat, for example, back home. Boom. That's great. So, but one thing I did notice, for example, though, is like, so they don't seem to, this is, I assume, is like a bug or whatever that they'll, hopefully end up fixing, but, or I don't know, maybe it just wasn't working before and it will now or something. I'm not sure, but it doesn't seem to work. It doesn't seem to play well with like multiple shipment tasks queued up here. you know. So, like, obviously, I would assume right now they're maybe, like, waiting to finish the copper shipment. But they have multiple wagons, so they should be able to load another wagon. But even, I did notice, like, even if they finish this copper, because we have this one on, like, an infinite, so they'll, like, repeat this transfer over and over again. They don't seem to go to the next transfer in that case. Like, this one will just continuously take priority, and they'll never do this transfer. So I think we'll just remove this one for now. And then now now we can see they're immediately starting to load the meat. So anyway, it's just a little, I don't know, some wonky behavior here with the transport stations. I would imagine that as long as you have the workers available and the wagons available, you should be able to have, like, multiple shipment, like, tasks queued up on here that they'll just go through them. That being said, this meat one, we only set it on a one-time transfer, so now we can go ahead and re-add the copper one. And so the meat transport will get done, and then this one will queue up again. So anyways, a little weird there with the transport stuff, but we're going to send home a ton of meat here, obviously, so we should be good. And we just built that kitchen, so we'll be able to produce a bunch of stew. And then soon, like I said, one of the main things is being able to, like, get these expansion territories. So we'll get this expansion territory, and this is how you do, like, farming and all that kind of stuff, like we mentioned earlier. So I think that's going to be one of the next things coming up as we're producing, like, copper ingots and stuff, and we'll be able to make better weaponry and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Okay, so as soon as that shipment of meat comes into the town, too, then we can probably... See, there we go, it's going to be coming soon. So once the shipment of meat comes in, we could probably staff up that, the kitchen and start making the stew. See, a new soldier said, those who eat meat are content. Speaking of which, but after a hard day's training, eating the meat ration, he still said it's really delicious. Eat more, meat builds strength. There you go. So we got a 15% health boost to soldiers, I guess, because we got this meat going on. So here comes our shipment of meat. There's also more copper ore coming into the town, and we're starting to produce the ingots. And then, yeah, start making stew. So like I said, see, meat is just here in the material category. It's not in the food category. So I don't think they can actually consume meat. So that's where we go here to the kitchen. And see, they turn one meat into 2 stews. So we just staff the kitchen. And then now we should be cranking out a ton of food. I think we can go ahead and add a few more houses. Now that we got more food coming in, we need more staff. More crews, I should say. Go add a few more along here. 3 more tents. Okay. So yeah, I thought the this whole system with, like, the wagons transporting stuff long distance or whatever into your internal town, and that's how the, you know, radius mechanic is able to work with all these storehouse and logistics and stuff. Honestly, I felt like this is a pretty cool system. Okay, looks like we got, by the way, we got a ton of carts here. As we can see, we got 23 carts sitting around. I don't think we need to continue. Let's just make a few more wagons, because we're going to probably set up some more of those transport setups. So maybe a few more wagons to have around. And then, yeah. So here we go. We're starting. See, we got copper ingots coming in. So now it wants us to build a weapon workshop and start making metal weapons. See, now we can start making better weaponry for our troops. And then it'll want us to attack that side town, I'm pretty sure. So starting to get more into some of the additional, you know, mechanics and objectives and whatnot. So weapon workshop. Yeah, weapon workshop. That's cool. And then we'll make metal weapons. And then there's also Yeah, if we can produce, see, we need copper ingots to build a armor workshop too. We can go ahead and build one of those as well because we have a bunch of hides sitting around. Not in the town, as we can see, we only have 8 hides, but once again, up here where we slaughtered all those boars, see, there's a bunch of hides here too that we can go ahead and ship into the town. So same thing. We can go ahead and set up a shipment to the home station, and we'll send hides, and we'll just send, you know, a massive shipment of hides once again. Boom. See, so this is where it's like I would hope that, you know, I hope that their intention is that, like, this shipment should be able to happen, you know, while this other one's still going on too, because we sent them multiple wagons, you know what I mean? But see, it seems like we gotta delete that other task, and then now they'll actually do the hides. But so a bit of a micromanagement there, which is a little wonky, but it's all good. I don't know how much meat is left, but we'll just send another meat shipment as well, and then we'll reset up our copper shipments again. And once again, it doesn't seem like there's any way to, like, shift click or control click or anything like that to do, like, bigger denominations of. Alright. Looking good though. Sending some more of those supplies back to the town. And now we should see, yeah, we'll start to be producing a bunch of stew. There we go, we see it coming in. Alright, from all the meat that we shipped into the town. And then we've also got more, we're just continuing to produce copper. So now we can staff our weapon workshop. And then here we can see copper ingots and lumber. So we can make, what, bronze spears or bronze swords. I have no idea which one's better. Let's see. See, I imagine the swords you can pair with, like, a shield. So maybe the swords are, like, more defensive, I would imagine. Sword and shield, right? Maybe the spears are just more, like, offensive. So, you know, I'm not really sure in that regard. We'll just go with spears. So we're producing bronze spears from our copper ingots, and then we're also, yeah, I don't want you to, no copper armor, that's way too expensive, but we can make this leather armor right here, see, easily from hides. There we go. Oh, sorry, you asked about a latrine thing earlier, my bad, Baff. What was that? I apologize, I missed that. They have a latrine. But oh, Ned said that. Wait, what is that? Wait, what are you guys talking about? Zooming in to see someone using the latrine yet? What am I missing? What is that? Alright. Leather. Alright, so we're making leather armor from our hides. And we're making bronze spears. Okay, so we're getting some military stuff going here. We got more wagons produced. I assume we're, like, fine for now. Let's just stop. We'll unassign. I don't think we need, like, tons of wagons and carts sitting around, so we don't need to just, like, use up all those materials unnecessarily. Looking like we're getting ahead on logs. We'll go down a bit on that. And it would be great if we could maybe increase the production of the copper. So let's add another staff over here. And we should have, yeah, we have more meat coming, and we also should have received, yeah, we can see now we have a ton of hides here now as well, so good. So now we should start to see leather armor and some bronze weaponry coming into play here. There we go, bronze spear, nice, nice, nice. Alright, cool. A latrine is outside to, oh, gotcha. Oh, is that, do they have them on each of their, oh, is that what this is? Is this the outhouse? I mean, that's cool. Look, you can see him like starting a fire and everything. Like I said, a lot of the animations that it definitely impressed me the most personally. Like, there's definitely you know, a lot of games will have, you know, animations are really tough to. That's a pretty big undertaking to have animations for like every little thing already. Oh, is that what's going on here? Is that why it's blurred out? What was that? Oh, here we go. Oh, looks like he just finished using the latrine. Okay. We're all clear right now. It's probably too cold to be out taking a dump in the latrine right now. Freeze your ass off, literally. Yeah, get those fires going, lads. I'm missing something graphics wise. Yeah, you like is that like why the villagers were like disappearing earlier too, right? I have no idea why that's happening. I did try messing with the like, you know, I don't know, whatever these settings. I don't know, maybe because it's on epic high. Maybe the quality was too high or something. I don't know. I tried messing with like some of like random of those settings and stuff to see if oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, it like blurs it out. It blurs it out. Oh my gosh, and you can actually hear a little fart sound. Wow. Dude. No way. That is absurd. Chengjai. I did see that they have these buckets of feces or whatever, and you can turn them into like ammo for siege weapons or whatever. We can imprison or execute. This guy's only been alive for 2 months? What happens if we imprison him? Oh, nothing, huh? Oh, I thought there was gonna be something cool that happened. Alright, we'll go ahead and just execute him. Oh, that didn't work either! No! Ah, dang it. Okay, well, I'm looking forward to the imprisonment and execution mechanics being functional. Big hype. Ooflung dung. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's pretty wild. I definitely did not notice that before. That's crazy. Wow. They really prioritize the immersion in some aspects there. Alright, looks like we got plenty of food and stuff. Why are these guys not making oh, because we never assigned a crew here. Duh. Okay, there we go. Assign a crew, and then I was like, why are we not getting the leather armor? Okay. Because we transported all those hides, so we'll make the leather armor. We still have a bunch of meat that they're cooking in the stew. Okay. See, now, like, these guys, for example... See, I think these guys are probably... See, they have the same issue with Manor Lords where, like, these overlays you can't really see during the winter time, which is annoying. But, once again, with, like, the radius thing, I'm pretty sure, like, since this hunting camp is, like, out of the radius of, like, anything else, I don't think anyone's coming and, like, picking up the meat or whatever. For example, the armor shop These guys are in range of the hunting camp, so they are going and grabbing the hides that are here on the hunting camp, because that's within the radius. Once again, we're in wintertime, so it's like really hard to see, which is annoying, but this hunting camp is within the radius of the armor workshop, so they're able to go grab those materials. But like the kitchen, for example, that's using meat. See, the hunting camp is just out of range of that. Look at that. It's just like just out of range. The cutoff is like right here. So maybe we need to like either move the hunting camp a little bit closer, or we need to set up like a, you know, another transport or something. You know what I mean? Because right now this meat is not getting into the town, you know? So that from our hunting camp. So I don't know if gathering, hunting, can we put it a little... See, the problem is I think we're about as far as we can go while still having the hunting grounds in the radius, in the range of the hunting area. You know what I mean? So that's a little bit awkward when we have a situation like that. I think we could maybe... There's a granary, which, see, the storehouse just stores, like, construction materials, and then the granary stores, you know, like, food materials, obviously. So I think if we put a granary right here, then that's how we bridge the gap, right? Because then this is within range of that. Actually, the granary seems to have a pretty massive range. Once again, I hate that. I don't know, why does every game do this, where they put white overlays and then they let it go into the snow and you can't see anything? It's really silly. Anyways, we'll put the granary where all that's in range, and then that should bridge the gap between everything. I guess it's not too big of a deal where we put it. We'll just probably put it right here. It's fine. There we go. So that should work out. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. This system of like I said, the radius on the buildings and stuff like that is pretty like convenient and simple and easy to work with, in my opinion, which is kind of nice. But sometimes you get like a little awkward situation like that. So I'm sure a lot of that will depend on how they end up deciding to tune like how big each radius is, or whether you can adjust it or whatever. Looks like you can see more of all our... Yeah. Yeah, good call, Gosfa. Yeah, for sure. Thank you for the suggestion. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just too high, the epic setting. I don't know. Might just need to continue playing around with some of those settings there. Alright, there we go. We're starting to get... We got 10 bronze spears, 4 leather armor, so we're getting closer on that. Alright. And then I think we also are going to want to, sometime soon, we want to get, there's like a stone worker station somewhere, stone workshop, and it turns them into like stone slates, which we're going to need for other buildings. But I think we need some copper ingots to be able to construct this, which we're using right now for the weapon, so we'll have to hold off on that. But that's why we added another person to the copper production. So hopefully... Like, see, these guys are still just sending all those shipments. If we start running low on the hides and meat and stuff, I think there's just like there's a little bit left over here that we could still send back to the town as well. So we'll probably do that. Make sure we get the rest of this done. Sent meat. I don't know how much is left here exactly, so I don't know. Let's see if we can do 30, for example. And then hides. We'll remove that one so that they're able to move on to these other tasks for now, and then re-add that one. Once again, I assume this is somewhat just wonky behavior as far as them not being able to have like alternate between transportation tasks. Okay, there we go. It looks like they got most of the rest of those materials from that boar's lair, but there's still a bunch of these corpses sitting around, so we have enough here for this meat and hides that we're going to transport. There we go. Just make sure we're staying ahead on all our resources that we need here. We almost have 20 weapons. So I think it's like each militia or whatever is 20 people per militia or whatever. At least how they have it right now. So as soon as you get 20 denomination of any weapons or whatever, then you're able to make a new militia, I think. So we're looking good on all our supplies and stuff. We have more meat and hides being delivered into the town. So here comes the hides right now. And then we also have copper ore continuing to come in as well. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, so we made the weapon. So now, see, now it wants us to occupy. So this is where it's talking about this thing. So I guess this is the official name for it, Refugee Village. So this is where we want to, getting these expansion areas is big. So we'll rally up. Now we have, or no, we want Spear Militia. That's right, Spear Militia. We got bronze spears, and I guess not everyone will get armor, but some of them will get some leather armor. There we go. So let's see. So we're gonna try to claim this refugee village, which it's somewhere in between. See, this isn't quite like, you know, taking a new region for the sake of, like, you know, comparing to Manor Lords, I guess, but somewhere in between, right? Where it's almost like an extension. I'm trying to think of what's like a similar mechanic in any other game that I could compare it to. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to. I guess this is somewhat. I don't know. Probably you guys have maybe you can think of something, but this is one of the cooler, more unique aspects that I noticed in the game. And once again, I'm assuming they'll be like expanding on this, but you know, you'll see once we take the settlement here or whatever. But it's pretty cool. I do like this whole aspect of the game. But we gotta wait for them to rally up here, basically, first of all. Hopefully they. Oh, some of them just disappear in there. I mean, they look kind of cool, though. I mean, look at our spears and everything. I have no idea why some of the units just disappear randomly like that. It's really weird. See, it looks like this guy's got some armor and the other guy didn't have armor. Oh, he just disappeared into the void. So we're just waiting for the one last guy. Come on, dude. We're waiting on this invisible guy. Here he comes. There we go. Alright, so they have some enemy troops over here that we'll have to take out or whatever. It would be cool if we could actually see what the heck was going on, but yeah, that's like a really weird. I don't know if that's just like a bug that's in the playtest right now, or if that's like something on my end. I have really no idea. The visual, some kind of visual bug here. Remind you a bit of Star Trek? Yeah, they're beat me up, Scotty. We got two visible guys here. They're fighting off the invisible enemies. Nice. Oh, one of our two fell. He's fallen. Don't worry. Dude, these are some weird spears, dude. What is up with this spear? It doesn't really seem very, like a very good design. I mean, it's good for that when they, like, do, like, a chopping motion. That seems really good, but... Alright, hooray, we defeated the enemies. Alright, so then we just occupy the expansion refugee village with our military, and then I think we'll just claim it. When the zone turns blue, it's occupied. So there we go. We have captured a village. Okay. So I guess we're pretty much done with these. I don't know, we might as well use them to clear out some additional some of these wild animals that I think we need tin to make bronze. So for example, let's go clear out the boars lair over here, have them go do that. Okay. So this expansion refugee village, this is cool. So yeah, it wants us to get iron and tin to make bronze and stuff. So we'll use the military to go clear out some more of those areas. But yeah, so here's the village, refugee village. So this is how you generate tax, which is what they call knife money. I don't know why it's called knife money, but this is basically tax right here. So this is how you get tax. So these refugee villages, so for example, we need to build like a house here so people can start moving in. And then see, this is how you build farms here, right? So we can build like millet or hemp farmland here on the expansion area. And then we can also get, you know, cattle, pig pen, horse pen. The chicken coops, I noticed, as far as like being able to produce like bows and arrows, the chicken coop, this seems to be like the only way, because you need feathers for the arrows. And as far as I was noticing, I think this is like the only way to get feathers, you know, for example. So you kind of need to build some like chicken coops in the expansion area to be able to produce like bows and arrows. This is like the only way to get like farming stuff, you know what I mean? So, and then similarly with like the transport system, it has the same thing here. So this is how we'll, so village center expansion, for example. So we'll send stuff over here, right? So like from our main town, we'll need to send over like construction materials and stuff, and then we'll be able to utilize this expansion area, and then we'll start getting taxes. So that being said, if we look back at our main town, we have a bunch of construction materials here, so that's great, but we need slate first and foremost to be able to build the housing. So that's where we need to I'm gonna take these guys off of the weapon workshop. We don't want to keep using our iron ingots for that, because we need, I think it was 15, right? Yeah, we need 15 iron ingots to be able to build this stone workshop, and then we can produce the stone into stone slates. Then we'll have the materials to start getting housing and start building stuff in the extension town. So we need 15 iron or copper ingots, which is coming into play here. And then we have our military somewhere over here, our ghost army, and we'll clear out some I think iron's over here and tin's over here, so we'll clear out these areas so we can go ahead and access those resources. Spear is a lot like your halberds. Yeah, more like a halberd, I guess. Yeah. Dude, it's so weird. Like, this is the most, like, weirdest, most, like, I don't know. Weirdest bug, dude. Like, if you guys have played this, did this happen to you too? Where, like, the units were just, like, visually disappearing? Like, they're obviously still here. Even in the town, you know, like we were seeing earlier, just units randomly just kind of visually disappear, and then they, like, come back sometimes. I don't know. Or is that, like, a me thing? It's only happening to me, and I, like, need to... Is high still too high? Medium? Do we need to go medium? No idea. Well, it should be taking out this boar layer here. Yeah, you haven't played it and you won't be anytime soon. At least 3 others played it and haven't seen any of the villagers vanishing like that or ghosting. Huh. Maybe it is a meat. I don't know what the heck is going on with that. It's really weird. Like I said, I noticed it yesterday when I was playing on my own too, so not really sure. Very odd. Alright, we cleared this out near the tin deposit, so we'll go ahead and make a tin, like, transport and mining thing. So mining camp. Okay, and then we need a transport station. Turmoil of war! Our morale of our soldiers is down by 10%! No! How will we ever overcome this deficit? We could put the transport station like right here, where it's like in between so we can get both tin and iron. It seems like a good idea, to be honest. Transport station. Alright, this will be in range of all that stuff, so that's good. Okay. And these guys clearing out this other borers layer over here. And we also need another mining camp for the iron over here. Alright, cool. So we're setting up for tin and iron, clearing out these aggressive animal camps. Alright, I think that's pretty much all we need from these guys. Maybe we'll clear out this camp over here while we're rallied up, and then I think we're good on that for now. Alright, we have the copper ingots that we need as well for this stone workshop, so we'll definitely get that. This is going to be key for us setting up that expansion refugee village, I guess they called it. Okay, there we go. We got a bunch of building tasks coming in here. These guys are clearing out the last boar camp over here that we're trying to clear out. Alright, cool. I think we're good now. Let's dismiss these guys. Get them back to the town. Alright. So we got quite a few things there. We cleared out the refugee town. We cleared out area for tin and iron. So good things happening here. So transport station. Let's just label it iron. So we'll need to send this a couple of wagons. That's like always the first step anytime you set up a new transport station, it seems. So we'll send to the iron station wagons. They really need to add like a... Oh, can we manually put a number here? Oh, there we go. That's better. That's much better. Alright. Send them a few wagons. There we go. Awesome. And then now also since we built that granary here, that did bridge the gap. So now yeah, that's going really well now too. Okay. Great. So we need to re-up on our weapons and armor and stuff, which we'll get going very soon here. We did get the stone workshop, so we'll go ahead and staff that. Perfect. And then we'll get our weapons going again. Since we can use that copper once again. And soon I guess we'll start making bronze once we get tin coming in as well. But I think we need more people again, so we need more tents, right? More crews. More latrines. central areas here. Okay. Got a bunch of good stuff coming into play here. I think we need more hides. More hides and meat. So I think we should have yeah, we got the wagons transported here already, right? So let's go over here. Let's set up what we can do before we even have like iron and tin and stuff ready to transport. We do know, because we slaughtered more animals over here, we do know we can go ahead and assign someone here, and we'll send a couple shipments of meat and hides back to the town. And we'll send this to our home. Boom. One shipment of a bunch of hides and one shipment of a bunch of meat. Okay, good. So we'll get that going, and then, like I said, once we have some slates, which look like we do now, so now we can go ahead and, from our home transport station, we'll send a shipment to the expansion, the refugee village or whatever, and we want to send them a bunch of building materials. So we want to send them some slate. How many do we have right now? We have like, let's just send like 20. Okay. And then we'll also send some regular stone. Let's send like 30 regular stone for now. And then we'll also send some lumber. Got a bunch of lumber. Let's send a maximum shipment of that. And a bunch of logs as well. Same thing. So we're just queuing up to send our expansion area over there a bunch of construction materials, and then we'll be able to start putting in houses and farming area and whatever else, right? So that'll be cool. So we should see all these. We're still getting all these. So we got the we set up that other one from over here to bring in a bunch of hides and meat. We still got the copper coming in. We are in the process of loading up to send these construction materials to the expansion area. So a lot of stuff happening there. We have a couple more empty houses which we'll get moved into. We'll also add, so we got our mining camp for over here. Then we need, oh, we got both our mining camps set up already. Perfect. So once we get more people, we'll just staff up and start mining tin and iron as well. Good, so we got the slates are already in transit. There we go. Cool, so soon we'll be able to set up some stuff in that expansion town. So this is going good. Been doing some digging on the vanishing townfolk, but you had to learn Mandarin to read the documents? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Google Translate for the win, huh? That's pretty funny. Very sorry problem. This is a problem we are currently wearing. Oh, okay. Oh, it's because of my graphics card. Oh, that's pretty wild, huh? Okay, well, we can go. We don't need to be on medium. We can at least go back up to high then. That's interesting. What is my graphics card again? I have a RX 7600 Sapphire. That's interesting. Well, at least we got some kind of answer there. Thanks, Bath. So it sounds like there's nothing we can do to fix it right now, though. So guess we'll just have to deal with the invisible, the ghost units, guys. This is the ultra challenging version, actually, where your units just randomly disappear. It adds like a whole new level of challenge to the game. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I'm trying to think of like in like a, you know, in my Unreal Engine perspective, like how does that, what caused that? What could possibly cause that? That's pretty wild. There's so many variables, of course, though. It's hard to ever really know. Okay, we did get more people moving into the town. Really good. Alright, so let's go ahead and start getting tin and iron. There we go. And there we go. We sent that big transport of hides, and we got meat coming. Okay, so then we can go ahead and switch to, because we're going to start mining, you know, tin and iron. I think we need to wait for it to become available. But yeah, we'll start transporting that after that. How many more hides are here, I wonder? Is there still a bunch of them? Oh yeah, 20 over there. And I assume there's a bunch of, like, corpses on the ground that have them. Now let's do one more shipment of hides before we move on to the mining stuff. Looks like there was a huge supply of these berries sitting in that thing too. I guess we could grab those as well. Send another shipment of hides, and then, like I said, there was a bunch of berries sitting in there too, so I guess we'll just send some of those home too. Might as well. I think we have plenty of food though, but whatever. We gotta let the ore come into. We don't have any ore to send quite yet anyway, so. Okay, so we're in the process of sending off more. I'm gonna unstaff the stone. We don't need like endless amounts of slabs, so, or slates. So we need to send the rest of this stuff here. It needs to get going to that expansion town. And okay, so now we got a decent amount of like bronze spears or whatever. We'll hold off on weapons for now because we're gonna start making like iron weapons pretty soon here. But the armor, definitely keep making that. That's good. One or two threads along the lines of, what is the problem with not showing people? A bunch of folks saying they have the same problem, but the dev comes back with that same suggestion. Yeah, gotcha. Sounds like they just need to fix something, compatibility with certain graphics cards or something. Look, we just here on this in this community, guys, we just like to play games that have tons of problems. That's just, you know, makes it a little more exciting, I guess, huh? Any game that's like ridden with bugs, that's what we want to play here. That's our bread and butter, baby. Alright. Commander's tent. Oh yeah, so that's another interesting one too. Once we need like tax stuff to be able to do that, but you build this commander's tent and then you can recruit retainers, which, you know, like in Manor Lords, retainers are basically the like the knights or whatever at the manor, right? But in this one, retainers are like kind of like heroes, basically. But they're not. They're like passive heroes. Like they're just like they're not like an actual like a hero, like a unit that'll join your army or whatever. They're like a unit, like a hero that you get, and then you can attach to certain things. Like you can assign the hero to, for example, the refugee village, the expansion town, and then they provide more benefits to the expansion town. Or you can get a different retainer that you can assign to your military, and then your military get certain bonuses or whatever. It's a bit of a unique, different like process there. But we need tax money to be able to do that, so that'll be coming up soon. But we just need to make sure these. Okay, so we got. Here's the rest of these construction materials are being transported over there, and then we'll be able to build some stuff. And then you'll see we'll start getting tax money, and this side region will be like pretty key now. So they're getting their last remaining. Oh no, morale of soldiers is down from the turmoil of war. All right, here comes our shipments into the side town. I mean that looks pretty nice, right? It's really not bad. I don't know if there's a command to like remove the UI. I haven't figured it out. I swear yesterday I was like clicking every button I could possibly think of just to... And there's no like... This is the control settings right here. This is the entirety of the control settings right here. So yeah, I don't think there's any like key bindings for a lot of this stuff right now or anything like that. So I don't think there's like a camera mode or what, you know, no UI mode. But anyways, once that comes in too, you probably get some pretty cool views here. All right, so this place now has some material, so we can go ahead and construct housing. So now see it adds this like housing area here, and then we also want, like I said, we definitely want chicken coops because we need the feathers for bow and arrows. Oh, we need more. So as villagers start to move into the town here, into the housing area that we added, then we'll have more villagers to be able to add more jobs and stuff, and we can add like farmland or whatever. I think the millet farmland, this makes like grain, which you can produce porridge. Slow tenant and harvest of soybean. Yeah, this does not give you soybeans. I think that's an incorrect tooltip. It gives you millet, obviously, millet farmland. And I think this millet grain or whatever is only good for producing porridge, which right now we have like tons of food, so I don't know if we like necessarily need that. The hemp, I have not figured out where that can be used, so I don't know if that's just like something that's you know, for future or whatever. I'm not really too sure about the hemp. And then also like horses, I don't really know what the horses can be used for. I don't know what the cattle really do either. The pig pens, it says right here it gives you hides and meat and sinew or whatever, so. And the chicken says it gives you feathers, but I don't know what the horses, just says rise your horse. So, you know, whatever that means. And then cattle pen just says raise livestock and harvest cattle monthly, so I don't know what that means. I would assume that's the same as where you get like hides and meat and stuff, but yeah, so who knows. So some of this stuff still not really sure how it integrates into your town, but like I said, I do know that the chicken coops, we want feathers to be able to make bow and arrow. Other than that, I'm not really sure. You know, it's cool. You could, you know, we'll build some farmland or whatever just to like kind of see how it works and stuff, but anyways, this is kind of how the refugee village works, the expansion town, and then you add these additions onto it, and then we'll see as we get into like new months. Each month now we'll start getting knife money, which is basically tax money, and then that's how we'll be able to like recruit a retainer or whatever. Okay. Cool, so we're just sending the remainder of these like random resources that were available out here, and then now we should see, yeah, so 10, so we'll just repeatedly send 10 and iron back to the town. See, but this could get a little annoying though, because like I said, they don't really seem to like to alternate between, like if you have two things on here set on like infinite or whatever, they don't really seem to like to figure out how to alternate between them on their own. So I don't know, maybe I'll just add a couple single ones for now to force them to alternate, but anyways, we'll be getting tin and iron coming into the town here for bronze. We make bronze with the tin and the copper, and then obviously iron from the iron, and start making stronger, you know, weapons and all kinds of stuff like that. Got a good amount of leather armor now. It's all good things. Hot dogs were good. Welcome back, Ned. That's what's up. Can't go wrong with a nice grilled wiener, huh? Did anybody starve yet? No starvation. We got plenty of food here. Yeah, no starvation, dude. I don't really know if there's. Yeah, I don't really know if there's like a Yeah, you know what I mean? Like where it tells you how, you know, like on Manor Lords, it tells you like, oh, you have like 5 months worth of food or whatever. I don't really know if that's. Anyways, so we just saw there's our village. So since the village extension is starting to, you know, people are moving in there and whatever. See now we're starting. We got 10 knife money, 10 coins for tax or whatever the heck. And now see they gain population, so people are moving in over there. We're starting to tax them, etc. So now the expansion refugee village is starting to pay dividends. Exactly how many hot dogs do you make? Yeah, Baff is he's learning Mandarin now so that we can understand some of the bugs. Oh, it was hot dog night for the whole family, huh? Hey, that's an easy way to go, dude. Heck yeah, cheap and easy, can't go wrong. Good call. Is there still hides over here? 20. There's still at least 30 hides over here too. I'd like to get those back as well. They were taking forever to gather all these berries. I'm just gonna cancel that one, dude. Forget about the berries. Start transporting some of this tin and iron and get the rest of these hides. Cool. Alright. Yeah. He mastered Mandarin real quick, dude. Anything... If you guys have any questions... in Mandarin, feel free to direct those over to Bath. He's our new resident expert. Yeah, no real cooking tonight. It's Friday, dude. I hear you on that. Friday's a good night for like an easy meal or like, you know, pizza or whatever the heck, something like that. Hot dogs, pizza. Perfect. Okay. Excuse me. So now, as soon as we... Oh wait, hold on. Ooh, okay, hold on. See, I have the incorrect... These are sending this stuff to the village, to the refugee village. No, we don't want that. Obviously, I forgot to set the correct... We want to set it to the home. We want to send those to home. Whoops. I don't know if that will cancel the current... Because they were already shipping tin over here. Okay, hopefully that does cancel the... I don't know where that tin went, though. Is it just lost into the void now? You know what I mean? Because he was like mid-transport with that tin. Maybe it just disappears. I don't know. But anyways, I just forgot to, we have to select the correct receiving destination here. Okay, now we're shipping stuff home where we want it to go. Whoops. Okay, and then our expansion town, like we just want to keep adding stuff here, but we need more people to move in, I think, right? Yeah, because we have 6 total people right now, and 5. So I guess it's like 5 people assigned per chicken coop, or basically per job. I guess looks like 5 people per job over here. So a few more people move in, then we can add more jobs, I guess. That's good. And then, like I said, we want... So archery workshop, so we can build that, but we'll need... Oh, I guess we need some bronze to be able to build the archery workshop, so we'll get that soon. Okay, we did send that iron into the town. Okay, so I guess we'll just switch to producing iron for now. But we need to produce bronze as well, but we need that tin, which the tin got screwed up there. The first shipment got screwed up, so I'm assuming since we canceled the shipment, I think that tin just got deleted, basically. But that's okay. the end of the world, obviously. Interesting. Okay. Almost bought some on your big shop the other day. Opted to stock up on burgers instead. Yeah, I like a burger better than a hot dog personally. Yeah. You like drawing and painting some Manor was a breeze. Yeah. Just put on some Manor and Bob Ross. You'll be good. Okay, looks like more people are moving. So another month here, right? So we got a little more tax. More people are moving in over here. Can we build another thing now? Oh, we still need more people to move in. Okay. I wonder if we just build... Let's just build another house, right? Does that increase... I would assume that increases the rate of pop growth over here. So just add another housing area. Oh, and it gives you 5 initial population right off the bat, too. So I think we can... There we go. We can just add another chicken coop already. Alright, perfect. And then we want to go... So we want to be shipping home the feathers that we produce. Okay. And then we'll start having the materials that we need for bow and arrow. Okay, and we can see, okay, we're starting to see iron ingots coming in here now. Alright. Okay, let's do, so we need bronze as well to complete this next step. We need some bronze. The language with pretty little pictures, yeah. Yeah, don't they call it, was it a caricature? Is that the name for it? Burgers might be tomorrow. Yeah. That sounds really good, dude. I'm born and raised in Southern California, so I'm an In-N-Out lover. In-N-Out for life. But we don't have it where I live up here in Pacific Northwest, so. Looks like we need some more firewood. We're getting low on firewood. We'll restaff the firewood cutter. Okay. I believe we should have bronze starting to get produced now. It is a little odd. I assume maybe that's just a... I don't know, a mistake or something. But it is odd that, like, here in the weapon workshop, for example... Look, we're creating bronze weaponry just from copper when there's actually bronze that you... Like, now we're actually producing bronze bars. But you don't actually use the bronze bars to make the bronze weapons. You just use copper. That's a little weird. Do we have the... Receive... Okay, tin is coming right now. Here we go. We got a shipment of tin heading to the town. We also have feathers and we have a bunch of stuff coming into the town right now. But the tin, that'll allow us to get these bronze going. AI does have its uses when faced with a page of what looks like hieroglyphics. Yeah, true. True, dude. True. Dude, I use ChatGPT for all kinds of random stuff, honestly. It can be really helpful. Or, you know, whatever AI model, Gemini, ChatGPT, Grok, whatever. Especially for help. The main thing I'll use it for is when I'm, like, doing, like, Unreal Engine stuff. Because there's, you know... That program is like ridiculous, so yeah, there's just like constant stuff that'll, you know, run into that's just like, what's going on here? How do I understand this? How do I fix this? Really good at helping to learn stuff like that. But is there another decent water well area that we can put? I'm kind of running low on water here. over there is fine. I just saw you were... Baff, you're crazy, dude. You're wildin'. You're wildin' out. Baff's wildin' out, dude. He's getting crazy. Friday night, Baff's popping off the... He's popping off the handles here. It's off the rails. Guy. Have you ever... I mean, they don't have it, obviously, in England, but... I don't know if you've ever... Have you ever been to America? And I don't know if you've ever had it, and I'm sure you've heard of it, but... That's right, dude. That's right. That's right. My dude. I feel like that's always a hot topic, though, you know? People are always in debate about whether it's really good or not. Alright, what do you mean we're missing raw materials, dude? We've definitely got tin and stuff. Maybe we need to add another person to our logistics station, huh? Let's do that. That's gotta be a good idea. Can't be a bad idea. We still have more carts available too, so... Oh my gosh, look at this! I did not see this before either. Look at this. Bro. They... they just straight up, dude. Yep. That is wild. Oh my goodness. They're wilding out here, dude. Mandate order. Latrine order. It's not like a drive-thru. It's kind of a double entendre, dude. You guys are getting crazy. Oh my gosh. Poke. Oh my god. You guys are getting wild. And we got these guys out here. They're just... Their official task is shitting. That's crazy. That is crazy. Oh my goodness. Is that like a cultural thing? Are they like... Is this like a cultural thing or something? Like what? What is... Look at this, dude. Dong Yi Tan. Yeah, I mean... Dong Yi Tan. Oh, okay. Well, he went invisible, so... Jesus Christ. Why are we not producing bronze, though, dude? What is going on? I'm really confused. There's tin ore right here, right? And copper ore, right? We have copper ore? I'm not seeing any copper ore. Where's our copper ore? Since we have a bunch of copper ore, right? What's going on here? Where is our copper ore? Am I tripping? They got tin here. They're ready to, they got the tin. It's the copper is missing, and I noticed here in the storehouses there's no copper ore on here either. Do we need another? It's kind of hard to tell. I assume these bars right here are indicating like how full the storage is, but it's kind of hard to really tell like is this actually like completely full or not. I'm not really sure. I mean, I would assume it's not because this bar is not all the way to the end, right? But I don't know. Maybe do we need another storehouse? Is that what's going on? Just put one, I guess. Alright, this place is getting us more taxes a little bit now. We have 4 out of 5 idle villages, so we can add another thing pretty soon. Yeah, that's really odd, though. I'm confused, where's our copper ore? Because it says, like, we have 60 copper ore right here, you know what I mean? But I'm not seeing it in any of the storehouses. And it's not here at the transport station. It says, like, we're... You know, we've been receiving it or whatever, right? Mining camp. Okay, what's going on here? Because we have... Like, this mining camp has a ton of copper just sitting here. Oh, did they run out of wagons? Oh, I think they ran out of wagons. Lack of consumable items. Wagon. Okay, so I think they're out of... Okay, I think we figured it out. So the wagons eventually die, I get, or get used up or something? They definitely don't get used up every trip. But I guess the wagons get consumed eventually. Okay. So we'll assign another person here. Let's make a few more. We have a few more wagons right now. But we need to send copper, wagon. We have 5 wagons, I think. Let's send them those wagons. Okay, interesting. See, that's another, like, this whole transport station thing feels like they need to add, needs to be a little more obvious of, like, what's going on with that, right? But at least we figured it out. So we're shipping the wagons over. Okay, we should be good now. That should, everything should be back to working fine now. In the meantime, let's just produce more iron while we're waiting. But yeah, we want the bronze. Next, this should be good now. All right. And I think we can do with a couple more houses even. We have so much food and we just need more people or whatever, right? Okay. The translation needs improving or not. Oh, God. Have you watched a TV series called An Idiot from Abroad? No, I haven't. Ricky Gervais, I definitely know him, obviously. A guy named Carl Pilkington. I don't know if I know who that guy is. Big fan of The Office, though, so definitely know who Ricky Gervais is. No, I haven't heard of that one either. You always recommending all this stuff I've never heard of, dude. You had a pretty English teacher when you were a kid. A double entendre. My gosh, dude. Little rascal here, dude. Little mischievous rascal, Daff. Hey, what's up for you? Welcome back, dude. Welcome back from the work. If you're only transporting one way, the wagons don't go back. Well, see, that's what's a little confusing because they do to an extent, right? Because, like, we sent this place, we just sent them like 5 wagons right now. I think we sent them like 4 wagons in the beginning, something like that. But we had already sent, like, you know, we've been transporting copper like this whole time, you know what I mean? We sent a bunch of like meat and hides and all kinds of crap from over here. So I don't know exactly how many trips we've done so far, but I would say, you know, at least like a couple dozen or something, you know what I mean, from those 4 wagons. So I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's, you know, 1 wagon per trip kind of thing. But I guess it's like maybe the wagons. Oh, you know what? Maybe this actually right here is telling us, actually, now that I'm looking at this, maybe it's right in front of our face. Maybe this right here is telling us how much, you know, life do we have left in the wagons that are at this place currently. So let's compare. Okay, yeah, see this one, the bar's a little lower. See our other station over here. Ah, yes. Okay, that's gotta be it, right? So, like, this one over here. So I would assume this means the current wagon is about to be used up. It's about to be out of juice or whatever, right? But then this transport station still has 4 more wagons after that, right? So they should put the next one up. Okay. I think that's what's going on here, right? So each wagon just has like a, you know, like a life. This is like their life bar essentially, right? And yeah, I assume, you know, X amount of total distances they can travel or whatever it is. I don't know if they account for weight, whatever it is, right? But yeah, okay, that makes sense, right? I feel like that's what it is. You guys agree? Carl is a little Englander. Oh, okay. Experienced foreign duties, and when in China, stand at the public cubicles that are out of doors. Oh, wow. Is that actually a thing in real life? That's pretty interesting. Okay, that's got to be it though. I think we figured it out. Yeah. This okay. This is their life bar. Each wagon. Okay, so we just got to keep our eyes on. Seems like they have a pretty decent life force though, because we've been sending that copper for a while. I think it was 4 wagons we sent over there, and we're making a few more wagons to have around. Okay, cool. And now we should be able to actually produce the bronze stuff, because now we actually have the production chain working again. All right, there we go. We're making moves here. We're learning. We're advancing. Soon we will be the most powerful Mandarin Lord of the Valley, dude. I don't know what is developing. I would assume this is going to be like a tab similar to Manor Lords, where you know, your region tab or whatever, where you get more like development perks or something like that up there. Tech tree. Hey, Bath, our resident translator here. Can you translate this for us? What does this say? What's the name of our homeland here? Obviously, it says something really cool, like Coville's super badass village or something like that. I think that's what it translates to, right? I just kind of did like a loose translation, and I think it's something along those lines, like Coville's like super awesome, amazing town, best ever, something like that. Have to watch An Idiot Abroad. For anyone, okay, who hasn't seen it. Okay, gotcha. I got a lot of homework, dude. BAP is always giving me homework. Pie Fork Hatch? Yeah, so basically, like, Coville's, like, amazing, best ever town, right? I think that's kind of what it translates to, right? And then there's this little part in the end. It's like a little addendum saying something along the lines of like, you know, Bath is like, you know, something so or so. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't know, dude. Questionable up here. It's gotta be that. It's the only way, right? Alright, we're producing a bunch of bronze. It wants us to make... This is kind of weird. It doesn't really... I don't know why there's like bronze level 2 and bronze level 3 or whatever, but... we need it for these objectives here. But anyways, we have a bunch of regular bronze ingots that we made there, right? 30 level 1 bronze ingots. So I think we can now... we can make... oh no, I guess just iron. Well, we have a bunch of iron ingots already too, right? So let's restaff our weapon workshop and we'll start making... let's make iron swords. Let's go for swords this time. See, that makes no sense. I'm assuming this is just like an oversight or I don't know, whatever, but like... Why do you not need bronze ingots to make bronze weapons? You just need copper ingots to make bronze weapons. And then we got all these bronze ingots that aren't able to actually be used for any of these weapons, which doesn't make any sense. Alright, but we got a good amount of leather armor. Let's go ahead and switch to, since now we're making iron swords, go to our armor workshop and let's switch to making shields. There we go, shields. So now we'll have like... iron swords with shields, and then they'll have some leather armor too. That should be pretty formidable. Alright. So I guess they're making bronze ingot level 2, and then we need level 3. So there's level 2, and then level 3. And then we'll complete the next stage of this here. Alright. And soon, we can get this commander's tent built, but like I said, we can't really do anything. We can't hire a retainer until we get more knife money or, you know, tax money, whatever the heck. But we can go ahead and build the commander's tent there. It's a pretty badass building. I assume it's kind of the equivalent of building your manor, you know what I mean? Got the commander's tent coming in here. Okay, now we have the bronze ingot level 3 coming in, and then we'll get the next task. There we go. Military siege engine. So now it wants us to build. Okay, so now we get on. This is kind of the cool part, which like we don't have any of this in Manor Lords, of course, where there is. Of course, we got these like siege workshop stuff where you can make like trebuchets and stuff like that, which obviously does not exist yet in Manor Lords. And there's also defense. Yeah, so here's where you can, you know, maybe try some of this out in a little bit or whatever, but we can actually, you know, build like walls and stuff, you know what I mean, in the town, not like in the castle planner where it's like only for the castle and then makes everything else not work or whatever. So, you know, and you can look, we got like a hot oil vat where you can put these on like you like station these on top of the walls, right? So you can get like trebuchets and ballistas, and this hot oil pours burning oil onto below enemies, dealing area damage. I mean, so there's some like pretty cool ways that we can like, you can customize the defenses and this whole like siege thing. This part seems really cool. Obviously, I'm sure, you know, like a lot of people want this kind of stuff to be coming to Manor Lords, which it is, just who knows when and whatever, to what extent. But yeah, this whole stuff is definitely pretty cool. I haven't really gotten into it yet, but yeah, that'll be pretty cool to check out. But yeah, this is the first step towards it, right? Because we want to start producing. This precision workshop, I think, produces like the parts that you need, and then the siege workshop puts the parts together to create the actual, you know, siege, whatever you call them, weapons, I guess. So yeah, siege workshop, for example. We can just put it over here next to all of our other weapon and armor production and all that kind of stuff. Or that's the precision workshop, and then the siege workshop. And then it wants us to build us like battering rams, siege towers, and stuff like that. So that'll be cool. All right, but yeah, we are producing now iron weapons. So we got shields, iron swords, and wooden shields coming in. Nice. We have a bunch of. See, I don't really understand. What is the bronze? It must be just an oversight. We got all these like. Well, I think it's for the. It'll be for making the siege stuff. That's right. We use the bronze for making the siege stuff, I guess. Yeah. So I don't know. Kind of odd with the distribution of like copper and bronze and iron or whatever, but okay. Let's go back to, I don't know, just copper ingots for now until we see exactly what we need. So here's the commander's tent. It does look pretty cool, you know. Like I said, I think this is pretty much like the equivalent of building your manor or whatever. So now every month we should see, yeah, so like this is an example of one of the retainers. So this guy looks like he's like military gauged. He'll give you mostly like military advantages. So if we assign him to the army, he turns our soldiers into super units. So whatever that means, right? Or we could assign him to the kitchen, and then we unlock emergency ration crafts. So you kind of get like some unique benefits from hiring these retainers. I don't think they're actually like a unit that'll like physically be around, but it's like they give these like bonuses basically, and then you have to pay them. But like we only have like 60 knife money right now, and see, it's like pretty, you know, we don't have enough to do anything like that yet. But once we get the money, then you can see this is how we would use it, I guess. So we get like unique benefits to certain areas from, and it's like rotating, you know what I mean? So like this guy's available right now, but like I think a new month is coming up here. See, new visit right now coming up. It just went from 1 to 0 days. So I think this is gonna switch, you know, so you get like a random visit from different people, different retainers that have different benefits that you can choose from, I guess, to recruit. So that's kind of interesting, I guess. See, new retainer arrives. Confucian retainer. So, Confucian retainer. This guy, see if this guy has different benefits. So if we got this guy and we assign him to tents, get 1 extra crew monthly, so you get extra pop growth basically. Or assigned to processing building, gets 1 extra unit per producing cycle. See, that seems pretty good too, right? Like if you assign this guy to the weapon production building or something, then they produce 2 units per production, 2 weapons per production or something like that. So, you know, it seems like there's just kind of like some random benefits that you get from these retainers, and that's what you really use the tax money for. And speaking of tax money, if we go back to our, you know, refugee village or whatever it's called over here, see, now they're getting more population growth and more tax and stuff, so this is starting to get better. And then we could probably just build more. Okay, so we need more so we'll send more construction materials over here, then we can just build more stuff, you know what I mean? We could build like a farmland or more chicken coops or whatever we want, really, obviously. So we just need to send more construction materials over here, so we'll go ahead and do that. So our transport station, and we'll send to the expansion village a big load of lumbers. That's good. Go with that. And then also some stone. Send them like 30 stone. And I think we need, because there's like 50 lumber just for like 1 farm, so I think we'll send a little more lumbers too. Alright, so we're sending some more construction materials over there. Alright, so this is the precision workshop that we made. Sorry, I'll read your guys' stuff here. Yeah, see, the precision workshop wants all these bronze ingot level whatever, all this crap. So, build siege workshop, build battering ram and whatnot. So for the siege workshop, looks like we need like 10 of those bearings and 5 of the wheel hubs or whatever those are. So yeah, see, we're crafting bearings. That's good. Okay. Yeah, that's the name of the town. Yeah, you see what I'm saying. Crouching Tiger latrines. That's what, Crouching Tiger hidden latrines. That's hilarious. Why can't you get over the game having facilities? I know, right? Is there really no, like, outhouses or anything in Manor Lords? I guess I never really, like, noticed that. I feel like some of the housing areas have, like, a little outhouse in the back. I guess maybe they just don't go and use it? I don't know, maybe I'm making some stuff up and I'm just imagining things. Bronze is made mainly of copper with some tin and other things. Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I get it. I'm just saying, like, it's just funny how over here on the weapon workshop, it's like you can produce bronze weapons just from the copper ingots when we're actually producing bronze ingots. Like, for whatever reason, it doesn't take bronze ingots to make bronze weaponry or whatever. It's a little goofy, but... we need more iron stuff. So let's go back to iron here. Oh yeah, see, it wants us to put a crop expansion on the village expansion anyway. So as soon as we get the materials sent over here, which should be probably happening pretty quick. Okay, they're almost done loading that shipment of the lumbers. That's in transit now. So we'll go ahead and put a farmland over here. The burgages do have little outhouses. Okay. Okay, they do use them. Maybe. Okay, I gotcha. But it probably doesn't say on their official status that they're they're shitting, dude. That is crazy. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay, I was gonna say, I do remember like some outhouse type buildings being around. Just maybe they just don't like so obviously use them, though, I guess. Okay, there we go. So now we should be able to build a grain farmland area. So we'll go ahead and... There we go. So now we got a little grain farmland, and this has a modifier for bountiful harvest. Get 50% increased production from farmlands. Now I did notice in the expansion settlements, like I was pointing out earlier, when you put like multiple shipments, they won't properly like alternate between them. I did notice it works on the expansion settlement. I guess it's just for, you know, they need to fix it on the transport stations. But once we see like the grain come into play here, we'll add that to the shipment list. And these, I believe they do work. It'll send like multiple things without an issue, which is how the other ones are supposed to work too, I would imagine. But anyway, so we should have... Yeah, we have like 80 feathers now too. So what did we need for archery workshop? Oh yeah, we needed some bronze, which we have now. So let's also do archery workshop. And we'll get some, start producing some like bows and arrows and stuff, you know what I mean? Okay, archery workshop. So we have like 80 feathers so far. So we'll get someone going on that. Start making some bows and arrows. Like I said, that'd be good. I think we can just add a few more housing areas, a few more crews. Yangtze retainer. What does this guy do? Yangtze! Oh, enemy attack expected in 83 days, lads. The people have no means to live. They're chewing on shriveled jujubes, deceiving their empty stomachs. Be careful, they haven't yet set their sights on this meat stew yet in your... Okay. Oh, dude, enemy attack coming in 81 days, guys. Alright. Yangtze retainer. So, like, if we were able to afford this guy, he would... Okay, so more efficient kitchen... Doubles the village population growth of the expansion villages. Okay, yeah, see, so it's kind of interesting how these retainers work. That probably goes a long way once you're able to get a few of those, you know? I guess these guys are slowly producing those bearings or whatever, right? Oh, we have a ton of wagons. We don't need that many wagons. Switch these guys back to making some cards here real quick. Archery workshop coming up. Okay. We need these iron... We need 20 iron swords by the time this attack happens, right? Just need these guys to keep cranking out. Keep cranking out iron. Are we... Iron ore. Okay, see, so I'm once again noticing maybe there's a potential break in the production chain here. Where's our iron ore? Okay, where's our iron ore? What's going on? Oh, that's right. Okay, once again, it's because we didn't set the repeating transports or whatever here. Okay. Okay, let's go with that. It's because we have multiple things that we're sending here. Yeah, this is, like I said, that issue where you kind of got, like, can't really get rotating transport things. Okay, so that kind of bit us in the butt there. So I'm just going to do a couple of, whoops. I don't want stone, I want a tin. They should load this now. It should be coming into the city. Tin, there we go. There we go. Now they're starting to load that up. Okay, that was just another little oversight with this whole transport logistic thing. Send it home, home. Okay. Yeah. Now we're home. Okay, so we're gonna do a single large shipment here to get this stuff into the town real quick, and then some tin, and then we'll just have a repeating iron ore, and we'll just let the tin. We just won't worry about tin, I guess, unless we really need it for bronze in particular. But yeah, we've been having too much idle time here where they haven't been working on iron since we didn't have the transport continuing to do its thing. Alright. There we go. Now we'll also assign someone to the archery workshop and start producing arrows. See, so the arrows need the feathers, right? So that's why I guess we could do bronze. Bronze arrows? Do we have a ton of copper ingots? We do have kind of... need a lot of arrows, though. I'm just going to do regular. Alright, we'll go with that. Alright, here comes our iron shipment that we got a little bit lost in the sauce there, but it's coming into the town now, so we'll be back in action there. That's a feature you need in Manor Lords, yeah. They have it in Farthest Frontier. Yeah, with you, like, collect the waste for, like, fertilizing the, farmland or whatever, right? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so you create. It's like, I think it's like night soil collectors or something is their job name. Yeah, you create like basically compost collectors. I think is their official is the name of the building. Okay, so we should have. What do they need for this? Bearings? Not sure whether they're not producing bearings. Oh, it's because we don't have anyone assigned here. Duh. Alright. There we go. Now we're rocking and rolling. Okay, we've got plenty of shields. I don't think we need to continue making this stuff. If anything, we'll just continue making some more armor, leather armor. I guess we could maybe make some copper. That's really expensive. That's 6 copper ingots per 1 armor. Jeez, never mind. Okay. So hopefully we get up to 20 iron swords by the time this attack is here. We want to use those, obviously. Alright. What else? I guess we're pretty much chilling otherwise. Okay, they're producing this stuff now. Okay, that we just had that delay in the transportation. I don't think we need tons of stone lying around either. We're not really using that so much right now. Okay, there we go. Now we're starting to produce some bearings. Very good. We'll need some more bronze stuff, but we'll get to that next. We need this iron first and foremost. I guess we could even maybe do with a second armory, huh? Or a second forge, rather. Because we need a lot of that stuff. Let's put another one right here. Yeah, you wouldn't want to have that job. That's, you know how we'll name the, name the peasants or whatever for like whoever wants to be assigned to what job. We would definitely put Baff on that job. He would be the, he'd be the master composter. Can't trust this guy to lead the retinue anyways, I mean. Get some arrows produced. Alright, we're almost up to 20. Alright, we should have those iron swords ready. That'll be good. So those guys will be well equipped. We'll have iron swords and shields and leather armor. And then we also have our spearmen, which are Some really odd looking spears, but okay, and then now real quick back to our, since we added the farmland over here, right? So here's our farmland in the extension. So now we should be able to, I guess they haven't harvested any yet, but once they harvest this grain, we'll start sending the grain back to our town too. And then we'll use that to produce more food. But do we have more? Oh yeah, we have a bunch of idle villagers now. Yeah, let's add another chicken coop. There we go. All the chickens. There we go. You're not fit to... You got this. With pathfinding issues, yeah, that's questionable. That is definitely questionable. That's a good point. That is definitely a good point. Alright, we need more bronze stuff over here, so we'll unassign them for now. But we have another forge now. Okay, so let's use this other forge for... I think we just need, like, all the versions of bronze, basically, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's do... I don't know, let's just make some more regular ones first. Now we have another forge going that'll help us get more of these tasks done. Alright, we're about to get our 20th iron sword here. Good, so we'll have a full strong militia. Well, two strong militias, but one of them very strong. Okay, okay. Our tax revenue is increasing. Soon enough, we'll be able to get a retainer. We got an enemy attack expected in 15 days. We got a good amount of military supplies ready to go. Make more of these bronze parts that we need for all this stuff. Boom. Let's have them make the hubs for now, because we just made level 1 bronze ingots. Okay, looks like we're using a lot of lumber right now. We don't have much lumber. What's all that being used for? I think we were making a bunch of shields, maybe that's what was going on. Let's just add another person in here to make more lumber. Now we're going to be using it for this stuff, but... This job never existed. Very well paid, yeah. Resemble that. Exactly when the battle was. It's just a distraction. Ay, ay, ay. You can't trust this guy. Can't take this guy anywhere. Ridiculous. Bum, 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 bum. I mean, the soundtrack's nice though, dude. At least personally, I enjoy the soundtrack. This is just like chilling, you know? Really nice. Nice vibe. Here's them making archery stuff over here. They're making armor over here. They're making weapons over here. Oh, we've got an invisible card on the loose. Oh shoot! Enemy attack underway. Okay, look at this. Look at the cart though, dude. Whoa. Mystery delivery coming in hot. It's the ghost of town delivery past. Alright, we need to rally up some troops, I guess. Sword infantry. Iron swords. Light armor. And shields. Look at that, dude. Massive. There we go. And then we can also get... We have our spear guys as well. And they can also have armor. Very nice. There we go. Alright, we'll see what happens here. We're gonna be under attack. I don't know. I think they're coming from over here. It's like these guys beyond the walls are coming to attack us, I would assume. I'm not sure. Maybe they'll be an invisible army too. We'll have to see. Back in the day, the king would have someone to wipe his backside from. Oh my god, the groom of the stool. Oh my goodness. Holy crap. Yeah, right? What do you do? Well, make it onto that show, Dirtiest Jobs or whatever. Oh, I remember. We're also making a ton of carts. That's right. I think we're good on that. So let's halt on that. We're using a bunch of labor for that, or lumber for that. We already got a bunch of carts and wagons around. Title is ready for ascension? Developing. Oh, okay. Wonder what that's going to be. Our sword infantry is ready. They are here. Invisible. Ready to strike. Alright, our armies are here. They're invisible, but they're here. I don't know what's up with this attack, but we're ready. Oh, buildings under attack! Mining camp! Oh, here they are! They're attacking our mining camp. All right, lads. Get over here and defend. Battle of the Invisible Armies. Here we go. I can see a few of their guys. Oh no! Mining camp down! There we go. We're really getting them. Look at that. This is some quality combat footage right here, guys. You're not gonna get this anywhere else. Look at that, dude. You're not gonna get this quality of combat footage anywhere else, guys. Look at that. That is some good stuff right there. Alright, good job, guys. Okay, well, I don't know if that was the whole attack or not. I assume so? The whole disappearing units thing is definitely, I think after this stream, we probably won't touch this game again until they fix that, because that's, that's pretty silly. Cool. Well, that was good. We defended our lands, I guess, right? We're good. We have a pretty strong... I feel like we have a strong, formidable force. We only lost one guy there, you know? That was our tin... Our tin vein, which... I don't think we're too worried about that. At the moment, TBH. We do need to send more. We have more tin sitting around that I think we need to send back to the town. So let's go ahead and add a tin shipment here. And then we'll re-add our iron recurring shipment. Oops, not to the expanse. Home. There we go. Alright. Alright, so anyways, we'll probably wrap it up pretty soon here. So we've been going for a few hours and, you know, kind of got a feel for most of the things in the game. And, you know, we can see, you know, setting up the town and a lot of the workflow, like, you know, game flow as far as, like, you know, assigning people to workstations and managing you know, food and materials and all that kind of stuff is very similar, of course. Looks like the military stuff will end up being kind of cool. Obviously, right now it's like really hard to tell what's going on because we got this weird bug where we can't see the units half the time. But yeah, I mean, honestly, pretty cool though. You know, I mean, this game has potential too, I would say, in its unique way compared to Manor Lords. But this like refugee village expansion thing, I feel like is pretty cool. Once again, eventually this farmland will start yielding grain or whatever. Looks like we accidentally sent some tin ore over here too, which we would send back to our main town. 20 tin ore. See, so here you'll see like these ones. This one works fine. See, like they'll do like they have their recurring shipment of feathers, and then they'll also do like this other shipment, which doesn't impede either one. Like, see, that works great. This is how it should be for, I assume, all the transport stations. So that's probably something that will be fixed, I assume, in the future as well. Yeah, is it? Yeah, dude. Anyways, you know, so as you guys can see, it's cool, very cool. Like I said, I don't know if I would necessarily call it a straight up like rip-off or knockoff of Manor Lords. You know, for me, it's just a, you know, any game is a knockoff of any other game, just like, you know, how any piece of music is a knockoff of another piece of music or whatever else. That's just kind of how it goes, right? It's just a knockoff of another city builder, medieval type of game. So, you know, a lot of it's as to be expected in that regard, but I don't know. Seems pretty cool, pretty high potential. I mean, I've enjoyed, you know, at least checking it out. I think we'll probably wait to check it out again, like I said, until at least the bug where we can, like, see the units. That's a pretty big one, obviously. We got invisible people running around all over the place, which is definitely not very, you know, enjoyable in that regard. But yeah, other than that, pretty cool stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed checking it out at least a little bit. And we'll be back for our Sunday live stream as usual. Sunday live stream every Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, which is 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. And I believe it translates to 5:30 p.m. European, Central European time or whatever, if that's your time zone for the start on Sunday live streams. So hope to see you guys there for that. And I might make just like a quick little video, which I'll potentially see if I can get it done, or I don't know even if it's worth it or not, but potentially make a quick little video by tomorrow morning, just like about some of the those like upcoming update information that they posted about with Manor Lords. So I might make like a quick little video about that, but obviously we'll talk more about that on Sunday, and back to our usual Manor Lords programming. But yeah, I also got a couple like challenge runs on the horizon with that. I was thinking about, right now I'm kind of thinking about a no mercenary run in Manor Lords, and then also like no mercenaries, no bandit camps, like, you know, don't get any bonus benefits from the bandit camps, and don't be able to use mercenaries. So only militias, and no boost in, you know, treasury or whatever else from the bandit camps. And then I was also thinking about like a no resource deposits resource run, where, you know, we have to be completely self-sustained with, like, we can't use any form of resource deposit, no fertility, nothing like that. Pretty much only backyard extensions and, you know, gathering wood and whatever. And then I was also thinking about just a couple other things, like, you know, making, kind of want to get maybe like a series going that's more focused on just kind of like making a really nice, aesthetically pleasing town, and, you know, focus on some of those aspects. But, you know, I've got a lot on the horizon here for Manor Lord. Still need to work on that farming guide and whatnot too, but I guess I'll probably just be leaving trade and economy alone for a little while, because they seem to have a hard-on for just changing. Like, I don't understand what's their deal, man. Like, literally every single they just can't seem to make up their minds on what they want to do with the trade system in this game. So I don't know, we'll see. But anyways, guys, appreciate y'all for being here, and looking forward to seeing you guys on Sunday. Has been interesting. Yeah, not for you. Yeah, not for now. Yeah, for sure. Really got back into Manor Lord since you found the enemies are bringing more men to the battles now. Yeah, heck yeah. We need more, we need that better AI. That's definitely going to take the game to the next level, and in at least one of the very big aspects for sure. Yeah, that's great. Oh, you missed it. Oh, what's up, dude? Welcome in while it's shiny. If you want to go back and watch the VOD, as always, all the live stream VODs are going to be uploaded here to the channel if you feel like going back and watching it or whatever. But I would say the overall verdict is basically... I wouldn't say that we can necessarily make a yay or nay verdict at this point. So I would say it's just kind of... I would say right now the verdict is like more along the lines of like, it's on the radar and let's see, you know what I mean? Let's see what happens kind of thing. I'd say definitely, like I mentioned a few times, for me, I think it's very enjoyable, and like has a lot of, like, it has a unique charm of its own that you could really get into here. But yeah, definitely like very early. Like a lot of these, you can tell a lot of these mechanics and the UI and everything is just like very like, as if it's kind of just like the framework, you know what I mean? Like just kind of like the foundation. So it's really hard to say in that regard. I will say, like I mentioned at the beginning of this rant, like, you know, all the systems of like, you know, getting your town established and gathering resources and managing, you know, approval and distribution of goods and whatever, all that kind of stuff is definitely, all that's really good. Kind of obviously pretty much you would need to, you know, that's like a standard necessity for any sort of city builder game, of course. So but yeah, that being said, all that kind of stuff seems to work well. It is visually appealing for the most part. It's not as good as Manor Lords, but really nothing is, of course. So but yeah, I would say overall can't really say definitively yay or nay, but definitely definitely on the radar, I would say. Yeah, very enjoyable, has a unique charm and a lot of potential, but it's too early to say right now. This is literally just a play test. This is not even a demo. I think technically in the realm of like, you know, at least what they do on Steam and stuff, it's like play test and then demo and then early access and then actual release. So this is like pretty much in the earliest stage that it could possibly be in for any sort of like public eyes. So that being said, you know, that portion of it is very clear. Obviously it's a work in progress, which then again, so is Manor Lords, right? But you know, that game's much farther along in a lot of aspects. So very early stages here for this game, but it was cool to check it out. Like I said, definitely a lot of great systems. I really like, kind of as I said a few times as well, what I really like, the main thing for me, or I guess the main two things that I really like here personally, is I really like this system. For example, if we select the storehouse here, once again, like pretty much all these buildings kind of have like a radius, and so the whole like logistics system is a little different than Manor Lords in that sense, where it's like you have storage buildings that have like radiuses, or the production buildings also have radiuses. Pretty much every building has a radius, and you set up like transport chains and, you know, storage buildings and stuff, and locations where you kind of like connect together your different production chains and production far off areas and stuff like that. I think this whole system is pretty cool, honestly. I'm liking that system. It feels pretty like approachable, you know what I mean, too. Whereas like, you know, in Manor Lords, I think it's a little more complex with like how the storage works and assigning families to the storage buildings, and how the ox, you know, you can only have the oxes to use to move the lumbers and all that kind of stuff. This system's a little more like approachable and simple in that regard, which I think is pretty cool, at least in my opinion. And then I also like this like expansion village thing, how you can take these expansion villages, and then this is how you like add like you know, additional production, and like these are basically like side towns that you're taxing from your, this is how you make taxes and all this kind of. I think this whole thing is pretty cool. I like those systems. Those are probably my two favorite like pros, you know, takeaways from playing it so far. And then also, like I said, it's impressive in my opinion that they have a lot of the like Unfortunately, half the villagers are disappearing for us visually, and we just can't even see them. But they seem to have like animations for like everything. You know, they've got like different mining animations, gathering animations, battle animations, taking a crap on the outhouse animation. I mean, you know, they definitely have a lot. You know, they've got a lot of details here already. You know, if we zoom in on any of these, you know, this is like the archery production camp here. I mean, you know, there's a lot of great details going on here, right? We can see, look, they've got these racks of the bows here. We can see here's one of these invisible villagers moving this cart around. But, you know, aside from the very obvious buggy issues, it's pretty cool stuff. I mean, you know, this is pretty detailed for what it is. Of course, we got like a kind of like floating building situation going on here, or, you know, floating fence going on here, which, you know, if you guys watched the Manor Lords live stream from the weekend, we had floating castle parts all over the place. So, you know, there's just little stuff like that, which you know, that's just kind of how it is or whatever. But anyways, I'll let you guys make your own decision from there, but that's kind of my 2 cents on it from just checking it out so far. So, and we'll see. Like I think you know, it has high potential all around. My last thing to know is I think this also sounds really cool. This retainer system, how you have like different guys that you can hire that give like different unique like bonuses and stuff to your town. That seems really cool too. I'm into that. I think that's a pretty cool system. You know what I mean? So there's definitely some pros here. Definitely some things that I would really be excited to see, you know, as the game comes together a little more. But yeah, for now, I think we're gonna call it for today, and then we'll probably won't revisit this game again until, I don't know, the next round of major update or whatever it is for this game. I don't know what's their plans and timeline or anything, but yeah, so that's our look at Mandate Order. Cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Nice streaming. The game didn't crash. Yeah, I mean that's the other thing too, right? Game. How many times did we, even in Manor Lords, dude? Like game will just freaking crash out of nowhere, like constantly. You know what I mean? Not so much, I guess, lately since they did the recent update, but probably when they do the next update, that'll happen again. But we all remember how it was when you used the castle planner beforehand. It was just like crash the game constantly every time. So yeah, I played on my own for a couple hours yesterday too. No crashes, I have not experienced any like complete, like, you know, game breaking bugs to the where it's like you can't even play the game. Like the game is definitely playable, very smooth, all that. So that's a huge pro in that regard too. That's a good point as well, yeah. So yeah, we did get to see someone using the toilet though, yeah. That was the highlight of the stream. Oh, that's funny. You're trying no fishing, no hunting. Oh, are you going for the merchant achievement, Ned? Yeah, I think that's the merchant achievement, right? Nice. Yeah, best of luck with that. Let me know how it goes. Yeah, the vibrant colors, nice change of pace. Magic carpet. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, visually looks nice too. You know, it's not quite as immersive as Manor Lords or whatever, detailed, but yeah, it looks nice. I mean, this is a pretty nice view right here, right? So, you know, kind of nice, like fog up in the mountains and everything. So yeah, we got some nice vibes. Anyways, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. GG's, thank you so much for being here, guys. A little bit of a off day for us, off time as well, but just wanted to take a chance to check out this game. And since a lot of us here are into Manor Lords, and quite a few people had suggested this game over the weekend, and said that, you know, I know a lot of people kind of mentioned they feel like it's like just a straight up knockoff of Manor Lords, which once again, I don't, you know, whatever. It's just another game in this genre, just like there's been before with, you know, Banish and whatever else, right? So, but very cool stuff, guys. Like I said, we'll keep tabs on this game. I'll probably make another channel for it in the Discord for Mandate Order, and I'll add like announcements or whatever from their server to that thing, so we can get updates in there. But yeah, I don't know what their timeline is, but if and when that happens, we'll probably check it out again and keep tabs on this game. It's really cool. But yeah, we're definitely gonna probably put it down for now until they make some, you know, major changes. Definitely the invisible unit thing for sure. That's like a must for me. I don't want to play this again until that's fixed, because that's just kind of lame. But anyways, guys, thank you again. Appreciate it. Hope to see you on Sunday. Once again, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time on Sunday every week. Manor Lords content. And there was, once again, another... it's not an update, but it's a, I guess, preview of an update. Excuse me. It's basically the CEO of Hooded Horse, which is the publisher for Manor Lords. You know, he said he's going to start making more announcements to tell us more information about like what's coming in the game and stuff. So we made a post about an article that said they're planning on like revamping the whole trade system once again, and they're adding like a new tier of housing and some other stuff. So once again, I might have a video ready for that tomorrow morning. I'll see. Maybe it'll be worth it to make a video just to kind of review some of that. Otherwise, obviously, we'll just talk more about it on Sunday, and we'll get into Manor stuff then. So thank you guys once again. GG's. Catch you on Sunday, and just here on the channel in general. Alright guys, I hope you have a good rest of your Friday here, and a good weekend ahead. Thanks guys. We're signing off. I don't know how you say goodbye in Mandarin, but yeah, that. Catch you guys on Sunday, y'all. Have a great weekend ahead.